All right, what's good? What's good? Ha ha. Man, I'm going to have some fun today because guess what we get to talk about? We get to talk about contracts. We get to talk about negotiations. And most importantly, we get to talk about y'all diva ass fighters. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. And guess what? Let me use this right here. Let me know I listen to the youth. I listen to the youth. He said I got bad shoulder posture. Let me put this mic somewhere where I can see it. Yeah. Yeah. Let me say what's up to everybody. I'm laughing at y'all. I'm laughing today. Hey, Ray Patterson, what's going on, man? Brian Powell, what's up? Shakur said the same thing about Haney's offer. So Shakur says no to Haney's offer. Frank says no, but he's a duck. Look, Brian Powell, it's more intricate than that. What's going on, Barbara D? Mr. Prado, what's up? Barbara D, my sister in the building. Ray Patterson, what's up, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? All things in the building. Steve Mega in the building. What's going on, Bank? Felipe Official. Thank you, brother, for that support, man. That was huge. Thank you, brother. Daryl McKinney in the building. What's going on? Good morning to you, sir. As always, good to see you. Mike Kirkland in the building, my guy. What's going on? Ernie V in the building. HMC3, what's good, man? Ray Patterson in the building. What's happening to my guy, T. Orlando? Shakur Steveson wears tight-ass skinny jeans. Agent Zero in the building. Mike A. So that's everybody. That's everybody left a comment. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you. It's Bud Crawford's fault. I told you so. I told you so. I told you that this was going to happen. I told you this was going to happen. I told you. I told you. Every major thing, and people see what goes on in boxing, and there is trends in everything. There are trends in everything. People out there are now going to, I'm telling you, that A-side stuff. I've been told you about that A-side stuff. And your improper use of the term A-side. I feel like I've been teaching these guys. I feel like I've been holding class and they've been listening. I feel like I have been teaching people what A-side really is. And now you got these young men acting like they understand what it really is. And not what you got. Not a lot of y'all been running around saying it is. I need the smoke this morning, man. Come on, man. I want to be the best. I want to be the best. I do. I want to be the best at rubbing your face in this shit. Because I know I told y'all. I'm going to wait for people to get into the chat. But I know I told you. For me, I sat back and I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? This is an I told you so moment. This is an I told you so moment. People claim that they know what an A-side is. And as a result, they're behaving as if it is something that it is not. And I would like to say to Terrence Crawford displayed that. He clearly displayed it. You do not go into a fight and not need somebody. You need somebody. You need them. Boxing is not figure skating. You're not out there alone. Boxing is not, you're not painting portraits out there by your damn self. You're not a rapper, me and my mic, just me and my mic. All I need is one mic. One mic. It's not boxing. All I need is one. You're not Nas. Okay? You're not Nas. All I need is one mic. No, you need another fighter to fight you. Yes, you do. Donald the now 8-year-old G Grant. What's up, brother? No, bro. I'm going to explain to you guys the concept of this dumb shit called that you all keep referring to as A-sides. That shit is used so wrong. It's not, I'm telling you, it's not used correctly. It's not. We're all our own A-side. I'm the A-side of my negotiation, me, because I'm the one that gets to determine what I'm willing to work for. If I'm not willing to work for it, brother, you can't. It ain't slavery. You can't make me do it. And and I'm telling you, I guarantee you this: Errol Spence Jr. will never be taken advantage of in another negotiation in his life. I guarantee you, he will not, because that man learned that shit the hard way. It cost him millions of dollars, millions and millions of an opportunity cost fucking with Terrence Crawford like that. If he could go back, he would have sent Terrence Crawford away. I'm almost sure of it. Nah, you're a lot of risk. I'm taking all of my reward. Low risk, high risk, low reward, or more risk, a lot of risk, a lot of risk. I want equal reward for a lot of risk. That applies to both sides. It applies to both sides. You are not somebody's slave because they have 4 belts. You have to do what the A side tells you to do. No, you do not have to do what they tell you to do. No, they do not have to do what they tell you to do. So let's get to this conversation that people are having about this 50-50, or I'm not fighting you. That fight is going to be there for Shakur Steveson and why I think it's smart. You can call it a duck, but I think it's smart. I think it is an intelligent business decision for Frank Martin. I'm going to tell you, you guys, oh, it's about the business. It's not about a duck when I'm talking about Terrence Crawford. So when I'm talking now, you can call it a duck. Don't get me wrong. You can go ahead and call that a duck. Go slap a duck on that. Quack, quack, slap a duck on it. Slap a duck on it. I do not have a problem with you calling it a duck. Call it a duck. I told Errol on Twitter not to let Terrence get 50-50 months before that fight. He shouldn't have waited for him, and he shouldn't have gave him that money. He should have let Terrence Crawford swim around fighting whoever the fuck he was fighting. But he got $30 million, so at the end of the day, he did make a lot of money. So I can't say it's a completely bad decision for Errol. Too many people think they are A-sides when it applies to a very select few, Fanon. Look, it applies. Let me tell you how it applies. I'm going to wait for some people to go into the chat because I realize some Boxing Voice is doing pretty much the same title. But whatever. I told him he worked too hard for that. Look, man, he made $40 million. He got his money now. He made over $30 million. He got a lot of money. He got a lot of money. So, it is what it is. He got a lot of money. He did what he wanted to do. So, very stubborn. He got his money, though. He's a very wealthy man. I can't feel sorry for Errol Spence Jr. at all. Sanction Boss, what's going on, man? What's going on with you, sir? Hope you're doing well. Hope life is treating you beautifully in this mug. I hope treating you beautifully in this mug. Facts, Fanon. You said walk away 6 months ago. Oh, I would have definitely had him walk away. What's going on, DJLC? To get the fight done, I would have had him walk away. I'd had him walk away to get the fight done. Oh, he made close to 40. Oh, yeah, let's do that again. Yeah, I mean, he made a lot of dough, bro. He made a lot of dough. So I'm not saying, hey, look, man, I wish that I had made some decisions in my life that led me to $40 million, $30 million, whatever it was. I wish I had. So don't get me wrong. I'm not out here talking about, ultimately he did what he wanted to do. He paid the price that he wanted to pay. He got what he wanted to get done. I don't have a problem with that. That's what he did. DJ OC in the place to be. What's going on, brother? Hold on one second. That's my guy, man. I'm about to go see my guy Nevin and Bone. Out have dinner with them in pretty soon. Hold on one second. Make sure y'all subscribe to my guys. What's going on? What's going on, Big Texas, the winning team? How you feeling, bro? Make sure y'all subscribe to my guys. My guy, DJ OC on the place to be, spinning on the ones and twos. What's going on? Salute to you, brother. Big Texas, the winning team. What's going on, TAT? Good morning, bro. In the chat, let's jab that like button. Let's talk this boxing. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What do you think about Garcia's take on the fight with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? I respect his take on it. I respect his take on it. That's all I can really say about it. I respect his take on it. Yeah. Errol looked like it could have been affected because he's had a lot of rough fights. He's had car accidents. He's had all that. And it could have been a bad night for him. And yeah, the fight can definitely turn out different the second time around. Yep. And I think all these fighters are damaged to a certain amount. It's just how much. How damaged are you? And I think that is just a cruel reality. That's just a cruel reality of the sport, man. That it really just, that everybody is damaged to a certain point in time, to a certain point. What's going on, Kai? Much love. Thank you for that support, Kai. Appreciate you much. Thank you so much. And Tony said for bringing that dollar holler for that consistent heat. Thank you, brother. Said thank you for bringing that consistent heat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you for sponsoring the channel today, man, and letting us continue to do what we do during these kind of thin days in boxing. But that's what I think about it. I think that Danny Garcia, I value his opinion. I think that's a realistic opinion. I don't think that there's not a lot of people who I really don't respect their opinion, especially if it's well thought out, TJ the fan said, not buying, he is damaged. He wasn't damaged against Danny or Ugas. Bud beat by a top guy that night. Look, man, dude, first of all, he didn't say damaged. Marcos Villegas put that shit in the title. And I made it clear in the video that I did that Danny Garcia never used the word damaged. Marcos Villegas punk ass did that shit. That's why I was like, damaged. Nah, dude, he didn't even say that. What he said was, look, man, but you can't say the man has not had car accidents. Man, the dude got thrown 50 foot, landed on cement, was in the hospital for weeks and don't even remember it. Of course he had some damage to him. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Of course he had some damage to him. I don't even think you can really, no worries, TJ the fan. I don't even think that's debatable, to tell you the truth. I don't think that's even debatable whether or not he suffered damage in his career. However, I respect what Danny had. Danny Garcia said he had a chance to win the fight, and it could have just been a bad night. Sometimes you just have bad nights. Some days you're just really, really off. And I believe that he wasn't able to spar for the last 6 weeks of the camp. I went back and looked at what those guys were thinking, what they were saying, and I don't think those guys knew. I think those guys knew something was definitely going on with him at that time. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's not a situation. Hey, y'all, click the link, though. I'm going to have to get a call-in number. I think I'm going to get a call-in number. Errol got dropped by a jab. Something was definitely wrong. I've seen Spence take way bigger shots. Yeah. It is what it is, though, man. It can be a combination of the two. You can have a bad night against a great fighter. But whatever it is, we'll see in the second fight, man. It's going to be more than likely it's going to be at 154 pounds. So we'll see. We'll see what takes place. We'll see what takes place in that. And then judge and go on there from there. But I'm not going to say that he made a bad. I don't think he made a bad decision. I just think that first of all, I think he should have taken a tune-up fight and stayed active. And then fought him. If he really didn't feel comfortable with the weight, fight that dude at 154, but he wanted that undisputed. And Terrence Crawford was very slick in his negotiation. But this is my point. You can get ready for people to do that shit more. You can get ready for a lot of people to walk away from fights that you want to have, and they're going to be like, no. Hey, thank you, Tommy. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate you for that comment. You're the best at this boxing talk. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I can't say whether I am or whether I'm not, but I'm going to try to be the best that I can be. And in this particular instant, what's going on, Dapper Douglas? What's happening with you, sir? And in this particular situation, I'm going to tell you, I told you so. You guys think that shit doesn't have ramifications. It has ramifications. When you see somebody that is sternly the B-side, turn down fights because he doesn't like what would normally be considered a fair offer to get every and anything and everything he can, get ready for other people to do it. Get ready for other people to do it. And if you don't have a problem with Terrence Crawford turning down the Errol Spence Jr. fight and fighting David Avanesyan, then don't say anything about Frank Martin turning down Shakur Steveson, because Shakur Steveson will be there. Shakur Stevenson's not going anywhere. Frank Martin's not going anywhere. And Frank Martin can go clip up another quick $500,000 fighting somebody else. Frank Martin may be able to get in there and fight Isaac Cruz. He may get an Isaac Cruz fight. Alexander Lyles, I don't think it's a sad situation. I think that's how it works. I think that's how that works. These guys are not. Frank Martin himself can say, man, I'm not ducking you, dude, but I'm not a sucker, man. You're not getting $6 million and I'm getting $1 million. No. Why is that? Because it doesn't make sense to do it. It doesn't make sense to do it. If I win the lottery, and this is to all the idiots out there. Now I don't call you idiots. I'm trying to get away from calling people idiots. I can't wait for y'all to click this link. I can't wait for you to click this link. Tommy Casemiro Camesso said, has there been any reports on a rib injury that Errol dealt during training camp? I heard also wasn't sparred. Yes, there's reports all over the place about that. There are reports all over the place about that. Yes, sir, there are. Absolutely, positively, there are. Absolutely, there are. It was supposed to be for it's supposed to be for a belt. You don't eat belts. I'm telling you, you don't eat belts. They're not going to do that. That's half of what Devin offered Shakur. See, look, this is not, I'm telling you, for me, this is the problem with it. For me. What's going on, Kodak? CA Mexico, California Mexican. Is that Kodak California Mexican? CAMX? Is that a California Mexican? Now look, watch this, dog. Think about this. This is a mandated fight. This is a mandated fight. The mandated purse split is 60-40. 60-40. Follow with me. Follow with me. It's a mandated fight. The purse split is 60-40. Correct? Somebody tell me if that is correct. I think it's correct. 60-40. Right? I need that to sink in for a second. That the least that he's going to get of a purse split is 60-40. Mr. Pragmatic in the building. Thank you, brother, for that support, bro. Thank you for coming in here. Big, man. Say good morning, Fanon, and the chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So 60 40 is what the WBC says that you will get if it goes to purse bid. They come to an agreement to fight, and they cancel the purse bid. Obviously, somebody did not do something in that negotiation, because Frank Martin, they send the contract and Frank Martin says no. Or Errol Spence Jr. says no. One or two of them say no. One of them guys said no. We know this to be the case. Now let's think about this for a second. What happens if they go to purse bid? For Shakur Steveson. Let's say, for example, that the purse bid was how much were you gonna be willing to bid on the purse for the fight? How much were you willing to bid for the fight? Because it's gonna be a purse bid and you're gonna get paid a percentage of what is actually at the purse bid, right? So say Tom Brown was willing to offer $5 million to buy the fight. $5 million. Can somebody do the math with me on this? What is 60-40 of $5 million? I do believe that is 60-40 would be 10, it'd be half, it'd be 3 and 2. Right? It'd be 3 and 2 at $5 million. $3 million for Shakur. $2 million. No, it's 2. Right? Because it's half of 10. 6 and 4 would be 10. So you have to, 5 is half of that. So half of that is 3 and 2. It's $3 million for Shakur and $2 million for Frank at $5 million. What, in order for Frank to get $1 million, what would the purse bid have to be? So the question is, what is $1 million? $1 million is, let me just I got a little calculator for this. So 1 million, actually, let's do 1, actually here. One is 40% of what? 2.5. So in order for him to get 2.5, thank you very much, in a purse bid, in order for him to get $2.5 million, to get $1 million, the purse bid had to be $2.5 million. But Bob Arum, so in order for him to do it, that purse bid would have to have been less than $2.5 million. So what does that tell you? It tells you that they must have assumed that they were going to pay less than $2.5 million in a purse bid. So they say, okay, well, look, we don't go to purse bid. We'll pay you more money than you would have got in the purse bid. But you wind up seeing Shakur get 6 and you get 1. So I can't imagine it going for less than $2 million. So what kind of raise did Shakur get? Say Shakur got an extra $500,000 because he didn't go to purse bid. But Shakur gets an extra what? $4.5 million for not going to purse bid. So Errol and them get to split an extra $500,000. Bob and Shakur get to split an extra $4.5 million. Shakur gets an extra $4.5 million. So I get an extra $500,000 for not going to purse bid, but you get an extra 4.5. That is leverage for Shakur. I mean, that is actually leverage for Frank, because he can say, unless you give me more, you're not going to get your extra 4.5. Yes, I'm getting an extra 500,000, but your dumb ass is not going to get an extra 4.5. So fuck you. Because guess what? What's your best alternative to this negotiated agreement? You're going to have to give up $4.5 million in extra income by me saying, if we're going to do it, we're going to go to purse bid. Because I would rather you not get $4.5 million and me not get $500,000. And if my guy wants to buy it, then we'll buy it. Because my guy got just as much money as your guy has to buy this fight. And I can get more than $1 million to fight Gervonta Davis. Why am I going to fight you for $1 million when I can sit and get a Gervonta Davis and fight Gervonta Davis, and I can get 3 times that? You want me to do that? You want me to sell myself to you for an extra $500,000? Well, which to me is going to wind up being an extra $100,000. While you slip in an extra $4.5 million, Shakur? I don't think so, man. Call me a duck. I ain't duck nothing. You ain't offer a fair deal, and I don't have to take a fair deal. I don't have to take an unfair deal. That could very well be the position that those guys take in that particular scenario. What's going on, D? Kamal said, funny business by top-rank accountants. I can't believe it. That never happened before. Exactly. Aram and company are so transparent and above board for non. Exactly, bro. You're trying to pimp the kid. With that particular situation, you're trying to get over on him. And don't act like you're not. You're trying to get over on the dude. You're trying to get over on him. And it doesn't make sense for him to let you get over on him. Now, I would love for somebody to go ahead and tell me how I'm wrong about that. I'd let Frank sit. I would too. I would say, Frank, we're trying to fight Gervonta. You can get $500,000. Why would you? If you can walk away with. You're going to probably walk away with $300,000 out of your next fight. You can walk away with $300,000 your next fight, or you can walk away with $450,000 and be out of the running to fighting Gervonta, who's the money, who really is the money. You can call him duck. You can call it a duck, Virgil Wembley. I don't have any problem whatsoever with you calling it a duck. I don't. You can call it a duck. I mean it. You can call it a duck. Whatever. That's not. You're going to see ducks in that situation. You're going to see ducks in that situation. If that's what you call a duck, you're going to see that in those situations. Because you give somebody no choice but to duck. Hey, what's going on to my guy? Luis Vasquez said, why is there no more talk about Frank Martin and Keyshawn? Because there really never was talk about Frank Martin and Keyshawn. It's never a fight that was going to take place. Frank Martin, Bob Arum is not going to put Shakur Steveson, put Keyshawn Davis in there with anybody significant for years. It's just not going to happen because it's really not a, hey, what's going on, man? I saw you. What's going on, Terry Schmoot? I was about to let you on. Yeah, you can call it a duck if you want to call it a duck. I'm not going to argue about you calling it a duck. I'm not going to do it. But at the same time, Mr. M Pride, who cares? Who cares how much he made in his last fight? What difference? It's how much you're going to make this fight. It's a mandated fight. To me, that's irrelevant. The question is, how much will you make if you go to purse bid? That's the same thing I said for Shakur. How much money will you make if you go to purse bid? That's the question. Pocket Watcher in the building. What's up, man?
Yo, good morning, Fanon. Good morning, everybody. Salute to everybody listening in. Salute to the chat. Nah, Fanon, I just wanted to call in just to troll real quick. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
hold
say
on one
this.
second. Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, what'd you say, sir?
All right, sorry about that. Go ahead, man.
No. My bad, Fanon. No, I was listening in. I just wanted to troll real quick. Just real quick. I wanted to say this. I was like, hey, man, Frank, they were offering you a career high payday. They said it was like $1 million. That's the most you would have ever made in your life, or in a purse. Hey, man, why are you pocket watching? Don't worry about what Shakur is getting. We giving you a career high payday and a title fight. Hey, man, don't worry about what he's making. You should be blessed and honored to have this title fight offer and a career high payday. You pocket watching.
Hey, look, man, let me tell you this. They're pocket watching.
Oh, Lordy. No,
I mean, for real. I'm gonna tell you, they're pocket watching. I don't like that shit at all. Like you're gonna get a career high payday. I don't give a shit what you
and
talking about. Of course, I know. Tell me some shit I don't know. You know what I mean? Like you did.
I know.
You know what I'm
That's what,
saying?
I just wanted to troll real quick on that. No, but keep going on it. Keep going. That just came to mind. So my bad, sir. Just keep going. My bad.
Yeah. No. Let me tell you. I want to react to that. Would you mind staying on for that, or did you jump off? Let me make sure. Oh, you jumped off. Damn. Let me respond to that because I like that statement. These channels out here spreading false lies with half truths. Let me tell you. Look, Just Do Bison. Let me tell you right here, man. He didn't make $75,000 in his last fight, bro. That's not what he made. But hold on. I will debunk all of this stupid shit. And I truly mean this. That's supposed to be against Michelle Rivera. I still don't believe that. But anyway, Frank Martin versus I don't even remember what that last guy's name was. Frank Martin box rec. Let's see what he did. He did that to get a fight with Michelle Rivera. So therefore he sacrificed already. But whatever, it's this guy. Artem, but let's go. I'm going to tell you, I love this argument because this is not how it works. You guys would be out there getting pimped thinking like that. It's not about, it's how much what you're doing is worth. And there's a market value set. There's a market value set for mandatory fights. Yeah, it is. There's a market rate for mandatory fights. It's 40% for him. He earned that by beating those guys. I don't see where it says anything about his purse. And then you got to look at his earning potential from another job. You can call it a duck you want. You can be disappointed if you want. But you're going to continue to be disappointed. You're going to continually be disappointed. I couldn't see how much he made in that particular thing. And I don't know if he really got $75,000. That seems a little low. Let me explain to you, Just Do Boxing, why that is not going to work. Because there is a market rate set for a mandatory title shot. It is 60-40. 60-40. It's 60-40 for the mandatory title shot. When he is the number 5 ranked guy and Shakur Steveson is the number 2. So if they would have gone to purse bid, in order for Shakur Steveson to get his $6 million, do you know how much money it would have cost? Think about how much money would it have cost Say Shakur Steveson makes $3 million. It has in his contract. I don't understand why they say $6 million. I think it's high. I think $6 million is high. But let's just go with the numbers that they have out there. In order to get $6 million, you know how much for Shakur to get $6 million? Do you know how much the purse bid would have to be for that fight? The purse bid for that fight would have to be $10 million. In order to get Shakur a purse of $6 million, and how much money would have Frank Martin get? Yeah, it does. It sounds wild, but that's the numbers we're going off because that's what they're saying. 60-40, 60% is $6 million. $6 million, that means $4 million for Frank, right? So how is he going to say, okay, we don't want to go to purse bid, but we're going to pay you a little bit more money than you would get if it did go to purse bid, but then use that as a way to get Shakur Steveson way up to what he wants to make. Frank can turn around and say, look, man, no, let's go to purse bid. Because if he wants to fight me or anybody else that's ranked, he's going to have to pay this certain amount of money. If Bob Arum, it wouldn't be the problem if Bob Arum could make a fight, a voluntary fight with Shakur Steveson and Devin Haney or Lomachenko. But Bob Arum couldn't do that. Frank Martin is a third option. He's a third option for this fight. He does not have to sell his career. Why this guy, for a little bit more money than he would have gotten in a purse bid. I mean, it doesn't even matter if they move him up. Here's the thing. You get 40% of what the total purse is going to be. And they agreed not to go to purse bid. I can only assume that they agreed to not go to purse bid because they figured that they were going to get a fair share of what the actual person was going to get paid was. And maybe, I don't know what happened, but I'm just telling you, you can call that a duck if you want. But I said the same thing about Shakur Steveson. Shakur Steveson does not have to take less than the purse that he would have got if they mandated it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. The same thing that goes for Shakur goes for Frank or anybody else. You've never when Rolly Romero, or you better negotiate something that he wants. Hey, what's going on, Kamal?
Hey, what up, Fanon? You're on point as usual at this top of the morning podcast. So I want to say this. There's a such thing as opportunity cost that people are not really factoring in. Opportunity cost is the cost that comes with making a decision, the opportunity to lose money or gain money. Okay, so let's look at this situation holistically. Let's take a comprehensive look at it. Frank Martin would be going over to ESPN in a very tough fight. And as an undefeated fighter, he and Shakur both would be a marquee fight. Frank Martin has the better resume. You can argue with me to wit's end, but Frank Martin has been matched tougher than Shakur Steveson has, period. That's an indisputable fact. Okay, so he's going to go over there to a network where they're robbing dudes left and right. They even robbed that Australian guy of the knockout against Navarrete. So he has the full deck stacked against him. He is a man who's put in a lot of work, fought the better competition. If you look at this objectively, Frank Martin has fought the better competition. So he's taking a massive risk. So when you call off the purse bid and you tell Tom Brown and Errol Spence that the percentage-wise is going to match whatever the WBC said. Now, in this case, I think it might be a 50-50 split since neither of them is a champion. I'm not sure. Worst-case scenario is a 60-40 split. And then you send the contracts over and it's not that, then you have a right to walk away from the table. We went through this ad nauseum with Errol Spence. Errol Spence may have had a drastic opportunity cost loss because not only did he sacrifice tens of millions of dollars and time in the Crawford negotiations with what he gave up, there was a fight on the table for Canelo that would have probably paid him I've heard 50 million, as much as 50 million for Errol Spence, and now that fight may no longer be viable. I don't know. period. And so people need to look at this whole situation comprehensively. So Frank goes over to Top Rank. The deck is stacked against him. Whether he wins or not, WBC open scoring is a factor. He's put in hard work and he's not getting the respect that he deserves. No, you walk away from a bad deal because the opportunity cost is, hey, I may fight Gervonta Tank Davis next. And unlike all these other people who are saying I'm A-side, that term is used so loosely in boxing. It only applies to a select few individuals in the sport of boxing, of which Gervonta Tank Davis is part of that elite grouping. In this case, throwing around A-side is not appropriate, in my opinion. So if all of that is taken into account with what I said, you guys got to stop missing the forest from the trees. Corporate media is trying to deflect, distract, and obfuscate for some funny business that Top Rank has a history of doing. And in the end, Shakur Steveson is represented by two important historical and very intelligent men in Jay Prince and Bob Arum. They know what they're doing, period. PBC is not going to do any favors for Shakur Steveson, knowing that its own promoter is not doing what it can to make the fights in-house. They didn't make Lomachenko. Lomachenko is going to fight Kambosos in Australia. And so knowing all that, why is PBC, which is a competing entity, why are they going to do favors for Top Rank at a discounted rate and put their guy, Frank Martin, in a position where he's already going into the Lion's Den being on ESPN, but he's getting shortchanged to do so? While Shakur's own team are not able to get him bigger legacy fights in Lomachenko or potentially Kambosos. So it makes zero sense for the PBC. If you look at this comprehensively, it makes zero sense for the PBC and Frank Martin to go forward if you look at all of that, period. And the opportunity cost is, hey, Frank Martin is probably in line for a Gervonta Tank Davis fight. When you look at the WBA, they're going to eventually strip, or Haney's going to have to vacate the WBA. You got Gervonta versus Pitbull, and then Frank's going to be up next. If the WBA could say Frank is next. So, I mean, you got to look at this whole situation holistically. PBC learned a lot. I mean, Errol learned a lot from the failed Crawford negotiations and the runaround he was given. And also, you got to look at it like this, and I'll end on this. Shakur has not acquitted himself well when it comes to the PBC. He was on Twitter talking about how he's better than Crawford and Frank Martin is not as good as Errol. You know, he was talking badly to Steven Espinoza and dissing Showtime. He has not had a good and well-mannered, that's the attitude I wanted, demeanor when it comes to Showtime and PBC. So he has not done himself any favors in operating and negotiating with an entity that is competing. So I want to get your thoughts on that, Fanon, and I'm out. Thanks.
For sure. Tony in the building said Shakur lowballing, so Frank left him in the dust. Hey man, yeah, thank you, brother, for that $1 holler. Yeah, man. They don't have to sell. First of all, Errol Spence does not got to sell his top guy to you for pennies on a dollar. He doesn't have to do it. If I'm Errol Spence Jr., I don't make that fight. And you can call it a day. You can say, oh, well, that's ducking. Well, call it ducking. Call it ducking. I'm not fighting. Not for that. You're going to have to give me something where it's worth my while, because Shakur Steveson is a big favorite in that fight. If you want us to give up and I'm telling you, I'm Errol Spence. You want me to give up my number one fighter, who I know I can line up to get a fight with Gervonta Davis, who's the biggest name in boxing, and I know I've got that payday down the road for me, and you want me to send my guy over there to Top Rank? You want me to send him over there to Top Rank? No. Here, Frank, I give you an advance of $100,000 not to take the fight. You know, or whatever you got to do, whatever he's got to do to say no. Because I want the Gervonta Davis fight. The prize in that division is not those belts. The prize in the division is Gervonta. And he's on Gervonta's side of the street. So you better believe if it's me, I'm saying fight Gervonta. We can get a Gervonta Davis fight. Why are we doing that? The only way that I'm taking that with Shakur is if you're paying me Gervonta Davis money to do it. Gervonta don't want that WBC belt. He doesn't even want it. He doesn't want it. Why would I do that? No. That isn't, and plus you saying $1 million is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. It absolutely is a lot of money. Divided by 2 because of taxes, that's down to 500. Then you got to pay 10%. You got to pay 10%. You got to pay Errol because he's the promoter. You got to pay Derek James, and you're going to be stuck. You're going to be left somewhere around. Just say you're left with $500,000. You want to fight him for $500,000, or do you walk home with $500,000, or do you want to fight Gervonta Davis and walk away with $2 million? Beating Shakur is not going to make it any more or less likely. It's not going to make it any more or less likely that you're going to get the big money fight, which is Gervonta. Gervonta is the prize. Let's not get it twisted. Gervonta is the prize. What can you do? If you're going to fight Shakur, you better get a lot of money. You need to get a lot of money because you're high risk, low reward. And I mean that shit. High risk, low reward. Because what's your reward? Your reward is a belt. Your reward is a belt that costs you 12% of your purse. That's the prize. And that prize doesn't even get you any closer to Gervonta Davis because he doesn't want it. Doesn't want it. You got time. How many fights does Frank Martin have? They're not going to do that. Tell him to go put up, give the $1 million. Give the $1 million to Keyshawn Davis. You thought it was 3%? Oh, yes, 3%. Thank you. It is 3%. Thank you. Thank you, Valley. It's 3%, which is worth 3% of your money. It's 12 is all of them. Thank you very much, Valley. It is 3% per belt, 12% for all 4. So why would you do it? One Body and Yahweh in the building. And I'll get on that point. Come on. What's going on, One Body and Yahweh? How are you,
Man,
brother?
I miss you, brother. I ain't been around in a minute. I have been working and doing a lot of stuff. But man, you are making so many valid points, man. That I wanted to say yes, because you got to think about it. Like you said, like Tank don't want them belts. I wouldn't want them belts. I don't want to pay nobody for some trinkets. You know what I mean? So, but I think that Frank did the right move, and that's just my perspective. What do you think? I mean, I know what you think, but I mean, like, I'm not gonna fight.
Oh, man, I
Shakur
think
don't-
look, man, I'll tell you what I think. Again,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to anybody that wants to call Frank Martin a duck. Good. Call him a duck.
No,
Use
he's
the
smart.
Yeah, but no, just let him use the term. That's cool. If you think that's a duck, you think that's a duck. Okay? I don't want to argue about the term duck and
I don't
whether he
like it.
ducked or whether he didn't duck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, call whatever name you want to call him.
a
If
duck
you
around
set up
that
a-
pizza. A duck
if-
around that pizza. If you know what I'm talking about.
What'd you say?
A duck around a pizza. If you
No, I don't know
who
what that is. What is that?
I don't even want to say his name, but it started with the show.
Oh, what did he say? You talking about little dude?
Yeah, little weirdo.
Yeah, what did he say?
He's
I
a
don't care. I don't care.
duckaroni pizza. That's what he
Huh?
called it. A duckaroni pizza. A duckaroni pie.
Yeah, fuck whatever. So,
Right, but no, he's not a duck.
no, look, man, listen. This is my take on it. This is my take. If you set up a situation, you can call it whatever you want to call it.
Right.
If you can call it whatever you want to call it. But if you set up a situation where somebody is stupid to fight you, expect to get ducked.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Because it's stupid to do it. And see, this is what I think Bob Arum thinks about these dudes. I think he thinks they're stupid. Or Shakur Steveson is stupid. Because Bob Arum makes
Right.
an offer to them that the man can't take.
Well, I mean, Fanon, let's say me and you had a fight, and you offer me $5 to fight you. Why the would I do that?
Only if we're fighting for free.
But $5 ain't nothing.
No,
So
I'm just
it's like,
saying, literally, like the only way you should fight somebody for $5 is if you fighting on the street and you slap boxing for
right?
$5.
We slap, we go on body. Remember, you ever went body with somebody where you don't hit nobody in the face, you just go body for body? I
Nah,
remember
man.
we used to do that in LA. We used to fight for the shock bot. But the point is, you gotta. This is a business. This is
Hold on.
not just like, oh, I gotta do this for that. No, if you ain't making no money, like, that's why Tank is so dope. He's like, I don't care about them freaking belts. I'm making more money than the dude that got all the belts. So what now? You can say what you want to say. I'm making more money than the dude that got the undisputed. So what now? You think I want to go for them belts and pay them taxes or whatever you call them? Or what? That's stupid.
Hey, man, if you set up a situation where where you give somebody the bare minimum that you got to do, and they're taking a risk to do it, don't be surprised if they tell you no.
Exactly.
And then it doesn't really matter what all y'all think, bro. It doesn't really matter. You guys call everybody a duck.
Well, yeah, but see, and that's the thing. Like, this term duck right now is, we don't see, the thing is that us as fans, we do not see the negotiations. We do not see what goes on behind the scenes. So we can call anybody a duck now, and that's not right. We don't know what the promoters are saying, or what's been offered on the table, but we can, oh, he's a duck. That's wrong. That's stupid. And as a fan, it bothers me, because I know the boxing side. I know the side of boxing where the negotiations go back and forth. This is not UFC. Like, I wish it was UFC, because I wish the number one would fight the number two. But that's not the situation. This is a negotiation situation. So, okay, you gonna offer me this and that, but yeah, I'm not fighting that for that. Why? Because if I lose, then what? I'm not gonna ever make that again. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just don't like, I don't like the duck term, like, being, I mean, like, there are ducks, but I don't like it to be used over and over and over again for different situations. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Appreciate you. Hey, thank you,
All
everybody.
right, man.
Yahweh,
I love you. I miss you, brother. God bless you and your family.
Hey, God
man.
bless you, man. And thanks for coming through again, man. Appreciate
Yes, sir.
you. All right, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Yes, one body in Yahweh, man. What's going on, man? Good to see you. D for the win said all these low ball offers to guys when these dudes don't sell, but they're gonna want 50-50 to fight Tank. Be consistent if that's what it is. Boxing is literally the most toxic sport. Look, man, thank you, Kane. Thank you, D, for the win. Thank you, brother, for the support, man. Really. Thank you, man. Thank you. This is a toxic conversation because neither one of these dudes. Like, anyway, let me get to it. And then my guy, one more after that. Kamal Oz said exactly. And Tank is high risk, high reward. Yeah, man. Look, dude, first and foremost, you can call Frank Martin a duck if you want to. I don't have a problem. If you want to use the word duck, you can use the word duck. But I'm telling you, do not be surprised if when people have mandatory amount of percentages of purses, that if you offer them the below that, and they have somebody that would be willing to negotiate to pay for the fight, dude, that they should do it. And don't be surprised if you don't make it worth their while when you think that they tell you no. Hate the business and politics of boxing. It is what it is. I'm going to jump in a second, OG, if you're still on. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, for sure. Here's the link. You're more than welcome. Look, man, you can call him a duck if you want to call him a duck. Doesn't make a difference to me. Let me tell you what I would tell him to do. I would tell him to say no to that. Oh, I'm sorry, Richard Paris, man. Sorry, brother. And thank you, Richard Paris and Lee Ho Shang. Yeah, I would tell him to say no to that. It doesn't make sense to do it. Richard Paris in the building says, hey, I was late to the stream. Was there a new development as far as the contract details that went down? And also, what I want to know, why was anyone calling Loma a duck for turning down the Shakur fight just a few weeks ago? Just PBC hate all the time. Yeah, the fun look. Was there? Yes, there was a development in the contract. Was that this is what people are saying, that Frank Martin wants closer to 50-50 for the fight, and that the offer was like a $6 million for Shakur and $1 million for Frank Martin, which seems like Bob Arum is trying to keep all the money in-house without the fight being in-house. If y'all want to call a man a duck, you can call, this is my thing, you call him a duck till you're purple in the face. I've been told that it's a duck when you think somebody's afraid of the guy. It doesn't sound like he's afraid to me. It sounds like this dude, it sounds to me like Bob Arum is trying to get over. Or Bob Arum is trying to make Bob Arum a top ranker thinking somebody's stupid. But that's a bad decision. That's a bad business decision. And one Bob Arum himself wouldn't take. Nor would you take. And if you would take it, you would be taking it because you're dumb. And that's the only way that I can say it. If the mandatory if you can force a guy to pay, if you can make more money by the purse bid, by going to purse bid, why would you not go get the mandatory percentage of the total purse in a negotiation ahead of time? Okay, how much? What's the total purse that's going on here? What's the total purse we're going to pay, and what's the percentage? Oh, well, the total purse is 7 and you're going to get 1. No. Why? Because that's not 60-40. I'd rather you go to purse bid. And why would you rather go to purse bid? So the guy that's willing to pay the $7 million got to find a way to pay his fighter to fight. You got to put Bob Arum in a position where Bob Arum has to buy the fight for more money than it's worth so he can pay Shakur what Shakur is worth. Why would you take the pressure off of Bob Arum? Think about it. Why would you voluntarily take the pressure off of Bob Arum? Debate me on it. How much does Shakur Steveson make a fight? If Shakur Steveson makes $3 million, how much are you going to have to buy the fight for? Let's do the math. Say he gets a guarantee, he has to pay him $3 million for a championship fight. He has to pay 5, which will get you what? It'll get you 2. Not 1, it'll get you 2. It'll get you twice that much. Make him pay what he has to pay. If he has to pay Shakur 3, then he has to bid at least five, in order to get the fight and put it on the network that it's on, where the network is paying for it. Do that. Not one. He has not, well, how much are you willing to bid on this fight? Oh, I'm willing to bid like 3. Really? You're willing to bill 3, but you got to pay this man 3? I don't think so. I think you got to pay at least 5. I think you got to bid at least 5 for that. I think you got to pay 5 for that. If I bid 3, if you bid any less than 5, you can't pay the guy. That's what you go. That's what you mean. Best alternative to a negotiated agreement, which I keep telling you is what the A side really is. It's a matter of negotiations. And I don't know what happened with Tom Brown and those guys. Maybe they had a lazy negotiation. Maybe they were like, oh yeah, if he can get $1 million, that'll be good. That's more than we would be paying him for these other fights. So yeah, he makes a lot more money than he would. But again, what's the long game for what's the long game for Frank? What's the long game for Errol? What's the long game? What's the long game? The long game is the 3 to 4 to 5 that you can get fighting Gervonta. These dudes are the reasons why we got the song unsung. I don't know what that means. Oh, and the song, hey, what's going on? Hater loves that brother. Hey, morning, brother Fanon. Checking in. Check your IG. Okay, got it, brother. Got it. Will do. So you let me know. And by the way, hey, Kamal said Top Rank made a bad faith offer, knowing that Frank would reject it because your in-house fighter Loma turned down Shakur. Frank's value is higher. PBC is not doing Top Rank a favor at a discount when you're not doing him one. And if I was Errol, I would definitely be making Shakur pay out his ass. I ain't gonna lie, dude. If I'm Errol, you're definitely paying. The one aspect of it that if I'm Errol, I'm definitely making you pay. I don't know what you think this is. Much love in that super chat. Kamal Oz, brother. Thank you for that support, man. Thank you, sir. I'm definitely making you pay. You talk too much shit. I do believe, and I'm telling you, I don't know whether that's in his mindset or not, but my mindset, I'm petty like that. So you're talking about you're talking about me losing to this dude. You're not going to get a chance to beat this guy. Fanon, you're lost on this, I think, because Martin is a man-down fighter. Everybody's saying duck except you. This is why they pick on Fanon on Twitter. You suck a dick, man. Look, you fucking bum. Get your ass on the channel. They pick on me. Fuck you think this is? Pick on me. I pick on people. Get your bozo ass on the link. Everybody's saying duck. You can say duck all you want. I don't care. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. That's a stupid decision to make. Make the decision. I hope your fighter takes that fight. I hope you do that. That's why you Negroes, that's why you black fighters, that's why black fighters be broke. You think all of you guys are not the reason that these guys be going broke? Take any deal that sounds good to you without thinking about it? That's on you. That's why they pick on you. Man, they don't pick on shit. Thank you very much. My guy, Just Do Boxing, said, I appreciate your insight, OG. That's why I come here. You push, you push no narratives, all facts. I say blame Bob, not Shakur. Jersey, stand up. Keep cooking that. Respect that. Look, man, yeah, click the link. Please click the link. I got no problem with you clicking the link. No problem. Please click the link. And my guy Mike Kirkland in the building. I want y'all to come and get embarrassed. Talking to this is what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks this. Since when did everybody thinking something make it right? I guarantee you Bob Arum understands fully well what I got to say. Fully. Hey, I agree, Fanon, that the business side wasn't right because I don't see Spence promoting a fighter, afraid of fighting another fighter. Look, man, I don't know. I'm telling you, under that scenario, that is a bad investment. Errol Spence Jr., the fight that under the terms that were that is a bad investment for Man Down Promotions. That is a bad bet. That is a bad bet. And ain't nobody, and I'm not taking that bet. No. What's going on, Terry Roberts? How can I help you, brother?
What's going on, Fanon? I'm
chilling, bro. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. At work, I got my AirPods in, so I wasn't watching. I was listening. So I say somebody made Fanon pissed off today. He cursing and all type of stuff today.
Sorry, a little bit, not too much. My bad.
He said it's suck my thing. I say, dang, hold on, let me get over here and ask, is he all right?
Oh, I'm all right, man. I talk like that.
Okay.
It's me more showing my personality and not trying to get the live stream demonetized. But every once in a while, I'll say that to you in a minute. But like, that ain't out of character for me, man. I'm a recovering foul mouth.
All right, now I had one question. What's the I forgot the guy's name. I believe it's Andy. He fought the Keyshawn Davis kid in the amateurs.
Andy Cruz.
Andy Cruz. Okay. I just want to know your thoughts on Andy Cruz. Is they gonna really give him a shot?
Oh, I don't think he's gonna get a shot at all because he's over there at the zone. So he'll be over there. He'll be over there working in obscurity in the zone for a long time. So no, okay. I don't think so.
Okay, that was really it. For
Yeah. I don't really know what's over there. He's a lightweight, and I don't really know what's over there for him to fight at lightweight. I guess he does have Devin Haney's, but Devin Haney's at 140, so I don't really think they have anything over there for him, really. There's Ryan Garcia, but forever how long Ryan Garcia is going to be with for however long Ryan Garcia is going to actually be with Golden Boy. But yeah, that's just it.
Okay. All right, thank you, man. That was it.
All right, brother. Thank you, man, for coming by, man.
All right, no problem. You have a good one.
All right, man. You as well. Peace, brother. Yeah, I'm sorry, man, for using that foul language. That's my apologies. You like any one of y'all can call whatever y'all want a duck. It makes me no difference. Call him a duck. If that's what you think a duck is. If that's what you think it is, no worries. Call him a duck. I don't want to argue about that. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was Errol Spence, I would not take that. No way. I'm a genius. If a kid watch, man, get the fuck out of my face, bro. How about that? How about you get the fuck out of my face? You and your kid. Preaching to me about that, man. Go away from me, man. I watch my language the best I can. Honestly, you need to be worried about these kids listening to this ridiculousness y'all say. Ignorance is worse. Ignorance is worse than cussing. Hold on, T. Wells. I don't see it, T. Wells. I agree, Fanon. The business side wasn't right because I don't see Spence promoting a fighter. Yep. T. Wells, my bad. I did miss it. Good morning, Fanon, and a salute to the chat. The reason I love this channel for your breakdown on the business side with an unbiased view. Dude, I'm telling you, that doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. That's a bad bet. It's a bad bet. And fighters are notorious for taking bad deals because they don't understand the deal. Why would you do it? You tell me why. Give me a reason why he should do it. Why should he cut? Why should he help them out at all? If I'm Errol Spence, I don't know. You go keep fighting whoever you want to go fight him over there. I don't care. I don't care. I've invested money in Frank Martin. I'm making sure Frank Martin gets to that Gervonta Davis fight, which is big payback for me. So the only reason Frank is in that position is because Bob Arum won't give Shakur Steveson fights. That's the only reason that he's in that situation. Is because Bob Arum would not pay enough money to get Devin Haney to fight him, and he wouldn't pay enough money or force Lomachenko to fight him. So tell Keyshawn Davis to get ready and go fight Keyshawn Davis. I'm going to go over here and fight Gervonta Davis, and you can like it or lump it. Ryan Garcia did not go fight Devin Haney for the interim championship. Didn't do it. Ryan Garcia was not out here acting and trying to fight Devin Haney or Shakur Steveson. There ain't no way in the world if Ryan Garcia had been ordered to fight Shakur Steveson, that Ryan Garcia was going to fight Shakur Steveson and risk getting a loss before he got to that paycheck called Gervonta Davis. If you guys think he's a bad guy for doing it, good, he's a bad guy. So what, though? Call me the bad guy. Pay the money. Make it worth my while. Make it be like, damn, I lost, but shit, I'm rich. You're tripping. That is the third option in that division. That is the third option in that division. Why? For one belt against Shakur? No. And you guys can call him a duck till you're purple in the face. If I'm doing my job of managing and promoting him, I'm no way in the world I'm doing that. No way in the world. I already took a chance. Took a chance with Michelle Rivera. Threw him in there with an Olympic bronze medalist and had a difficult fight with an Olympic bronze medalist. You want him just throw his ass right in there with Shakur and just wrap it up? For not enough money to make it worth? He can't retire off that. Last time I checked, you cannot retire off $400,000. You can't retire off of that. When you can retire off $10 million. You can retire off $6 million. You can retire off $6 million. You may be able to retire off $3 million. You cannot retire off of $300,000 when everything is said and done, after your taxes and all that stuff is paid. You can't do it. So you want to throw away this man's potential to get into the ring with Gervonta Davis and make multi-millions of dollars. No. I'm going to matchmake this kid. You know, like Rick Glazer criticizes the PBC for not matchmaking people. Matchmake him. No, I don't want this shot at this belt. No, thank you. Give me somebody that I can lay out and knock out. Give me another guy that I can lay out and knock out. Give me that where my guy can make money, I can make money, and I can move on. And then I can get up into the top rankings for the WBA, and I can get this $4-5 million payday against the biggest name in boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis. No, I'm not going to sell my career for $400,000. Call me a fucking duck if you want to call me a duck. Call me a duck. I ducked. You're out of your mind. You all sound like some idiots telling me to jump. Oh, everybody else jumping off this bridge. You must be scared. You know what? Call me scared. I'm going to go home and do my homework. Call me scared. So what if you call me a duck? So what? None of what y'all say matters as much as that money that hits that deck that you want to feed to Shakur, because Shakur can't get a top-ranked fight. Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin is the third option. The third. The third. Matter of fact, he's the fourth. Bob Arum couldn't get him a fight with Isaac Cruz. He can't get him a fight with Devin Haney. He can't get him a fight with Lomachenko. But you want him to fight, but you want Errol. I see you, Jeffrey Brooks. You want Errol to give up his number one guy and his only fighter to him with not even enough money for the man to retire on. Because then if he loses Shakur, oh, well, he's not good enough to fight Gervonta. We don't like that. You'll have King and all y'all idiots out here calling him garbage the next day. Call the man a duck, but don't call me dumb. I'll tell y'all that shit, and I'll tell you that stuff in a minute. You can call me crazy. You can call me a hater. You can call me whatever thing you want to call me. But the last thing you're going to call me is stupid. The last thing you're going to call me is stupid. And Bob Arum wouldn't be setting me up for a loss for nothing. Because Bob Arum was going to make out in that deal. Shakur was going to make out in that deal. In a much greater capacity than the PBC was. Showtime about to lose because Shakur is the favorite. The big favorite. So Showtime's about to lose a key fighter. Errol Spence is going to lose his only fighter. And Shakur Steveson and Frank Martin risks a legacy-defining fight, and I mean money-wise, a career life-setting money against the only guy that is a real draw anywhere near him. There's nobody but Gervonta below 147 pounds. Nobody. But you want him to jump over there to Top Rank for a couple extra dollars. Y'all some morons. You know what? If you brave and you want to do it, you a hardcore gorilla, go be a dumbass gorilla and go over there and do that. Ain't no world. That's stupid. And you guys tell me it's anything other than stupid. It's stupid. And it looked like somebody got some sense. Shakur is a very likely loss for Frank Martin. He is a likely loss. A likely loss. He is a guaranteed fighter to get multiple fights with Showtime. Multiple. He is in the same promotional, basically, platform as the biggest guy named fighter in American boxing. It is the biggest fight that man could possibly hope for, and that man don't care about that damn WBC belt. You guys keep doing all that sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. You're tripping. Call the duck all you want and get in here and debate me about whether or not that man should duck. But big time hero. Man, get out of here with all that nonsense. Terrence Crawford would not fight Errol Spence Jr., even though he had a very good chance to win the fight, until his money was right. But you want Frank to jump up in there when he doesn't have near the chance that Terrence Crawford had and get in there with the money not being right. Man, please. Y'all can go play that harp for somebody else. I ain't trying to hear it. I see you, Just Dubai. So let me get these two things, and I'll get right back with you, brother. Oh, actually, let me come up on it because I want to make sure I don't miss it. I'll debate any of y'all on that. I'll debate any of you on that. And you won't jump up here. Go keep calling them names. So what? If I'm Frank Martin, I'm not even on Twitter. Man, whatever. Call me a duck, whatever. Whatever. Pay me my money, where if I lose this fight, then my kids are in as good a position as if I would have lost to Gervonta Davis. I got just as good a chance as beating Gervonta as I got of beating Shakur. And I got way better chance of getting more money. Yeah. I'm super brave. What you clowns are talking about. Come on, I said Kambosos and Loma are getting big purses for turning down Shakur, fighting each other. Oh, he couldn't get a Kambosos fight either. Top Rank can't get him a fight for nothing. But Errol's supposed to give his guy up. Man, whatever. That's on Arum. Frank has been matched tough, put in the work. His market value is higher under those conditions. I've already told you what market value is. I'm not dropping out of medical school to get a job to get a high-paying job selling pharmaceuticals. Think about this. I'm going to be a radiologist. I am in my last year. I got 2 more years left in my what do you call it? Not your intern, your residency. 2 more years left in my residency. I've been through undergrad. I've been through medical school. I've been through undergrad. I've been through medical school. I've been through whatever else you got to do. I'm in my last phase. And you want to offer me I'm losing money. I'm broke. But you want to offer me $200,000 to sell pharmaceuticals because you know I can probably sell it because I understand the terminology and I can talk to doctors. I'm going to lose money for a couple more years, brother. I'm going to lose money for a couple more years before I go get this $500,000 job when I become a radiologist, a licensed radiologist at a hospital. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just got to wait to get your money. And you don't jump at the first offer that comes to you that looks bad, that looks like, well, that's the most money you ever make. How much money you making at your job? Come sell this dope. Gets more money than you'll make over there. Yeah, but you got me a chance. I may go to jail. No, thank you. I'll take the long route. Nah, man, that shit sounds stupid to me. And I'm telling you the truth, it sounds stupid to me. And I'm glad if Errol Spence Jr. is the one that said no to it, congratulations, Errol Spence Jr. And I mean that shit. Congratulations on doing something that makes sense. Because obviously, Tom Brown don't care. Tom Brown is going to get his promotional fee up out of that, and we get to make a fight. I don't know what happened with Tom Brown agreeing to that or Errol, but somebody got some sense. And go ahead, every YouTube channel out there, call it a duck. Man, if I'm Terrence Crawford, if I'm Frank Martin, I'm going look in my mirror, steady in the mirror, be like, you know what? I may be a duck, but I'm not dumb. I would damn sure like to whoop him. But hey, man, he definitely got to pay me my money. I'm not here for free. Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Mr. Tell It Like It Is said, can someone tell me what Jay Prince does for Shakur? He's a manager. That takes at least 30%. What does he take? 20%? I'm not sure if you got, I did, brother. I got it. Thank you so much, man, for your support. Jeffrey Brooks, my bad. I needed to get through that, man. What's going on, Jeffrey Brooks? How can I help you?
My man, what's going on, Fanar?
Man, I'm chilling, brother. How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, nothing much. I haven't really been keeping up with this boxing lately, man. They've been working me like a slave lately. So I
Yes,
just,
sir.
I heard so what's going on? The fight has been called off, right? Between
Oh, yeah,
Frank
it's
Marcus
gone.
and
Yeah, that's gone.
because it wasn't no. So is it? What is this? Safe to say this is kind of like another Bud Crawford situation
The
during the
first
first
portion of it, yeah. Very
negotiation. He wasn't happy with what was offered, and
Yep.
How? Well, why was it? Well, why was the fight even? Why did it get that far to even being announced? Then, if the money wasn't right, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Technically speaking, the fight wasn't announced. Mike Coppinger reported that they had.
You said enough. You ain't gotta say no.
It's literally the same thing.
You don't gotta go no further. He done made about 5 improper dates. He done said about 5 improper dates for Bud and Spence that first time around. He went and saying September, November, October, December, January. You just shut me up with that one. I have no other questions asked. You said Mike Coppinger. You said enough.
All right, bro. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right.
All right,
Okay.
brother.
All
You
right.
back, sir. Yeah, that's my guy, Jeffrey Brooks. Man. Salute Mike Kirkland, yes, sir. And Josh Gossett said, salute for nine, keep giving facts. They don't want no smoke. Yeah, man, y'all can call it a duck all you want, bro. I mean that shit. You can call that a duck all you want. I don't care. He should duck. You should duck. Don't do it. Sorry. My guy, what's going on? Quantum Martial Arts in the building said, much love, brother. Thank you so much for that support, brother. The $5 holler in the Cash App. Thank you, sir. Look, man, I'm telling you, if I'm Frank Martin, so what? Call me a duck all you want. Hey, thank you, Mr. McKinney, brother. Thank you so much, man, for the $12 holler, man. Thank you, sir. He said for support. Definitely needed, sir. Definitely needed. Where's the smoke? Where's the smoke? Hey, Mr. Bum out there that said everybody's teasing me on Twitter. Where are you? Where are you? Where's all the smoke? Where's the smoke for this? Where's the smoke for this? And the answer to your bozo ass question is that they are not fans of Shakur Steveson. I mean, you know, we're talking about fighters that are not big draws. So when you talk about fighters that are not big draws, some people don't even care about them. Which, bozo, is another reason to let Shakur Steveson go find a fight at Top Rank. Bozo. That's where people are. He says, say less. What is that? You know what I'm saying? So Frank's saying he won 50-50. I don't know what he said. That's what people are saying. That's what I would want. $3.5 million. Yep, and we can do it. You gonna get, if $7 million, give me $3.5 million, and then I can go over there to ESPN, and I'll fight you. What's so difficult about that? I want $3.5 million, and I will go over there and I'll fight you. But guess what we're not going to do? We're not going to sit around and talk forever. I don't want to speculate on Jay Prince because I don't know anything about him. I don't know enough about Jay Prince to tell you anything about what he does. He's his manager. I don't know. As a comment, I don't know. I know the promoter is Bob Arum in Top Rank. That's what I know. I know that's who the promoter is. Also, I know that all I know is the more Shakur makes, the more Jay Prince makes. So it's in his interest to get Shakur Stevenson as much money as he can get Shakur, because that means he's going to get a bigger amount of money. But that's just how managers work. So there you go. But at the end of the day, somebody told me that, what did somebody say earlier in the chat? Because you guys won't ever click the link. I know, you guys. You won't click the link because you're not going to get around this. You want to call somebody a name, I will embrace the name. I'm not about to argue about who's ducking. That's a stupid argument. That's a stupid argument. And I don't believe in stupid arguments. You're going to call it what it is. You're going to think what you think. I'm telling you from what I understand, first of all, Shakur Stevenson, Errol Spence would be dumb to make that fight. No joke. He would be dumb to make that fight. Now, if anybody would like to challenge me as to why Errol wouldn't be dumb to take that fight, I would love to hear the explanation on that one. I would love to hear the explanation on that one. Why should Errol make that fight? We know Top Rank's not going to make a fight that they're not 80% sure that they can win. Bob Arum has said that. Bob Arum is not going to put a fighter of his into a championship shot unless they are 80% sure that they will win the fight, which really could be why that negotiation and that offer is not good. Because I don't think that they are 80% sure. That's a little high. 80% sure. 80% sure is a mismatch. They're only going to put people up there in straight up mismatches. Hey, Hunter Young said, Fanon, if the 1 million is true, they tried to treat Frank like you do a little kid when you say, look at the shiny penny, never mind that dull dollar. Never a better statement than that right there. Yeah, exactly. 80% sure. Man, look, they just made an offer to Shakur that Shakur wasn't going to take. Yeah, exactly. Dapper Douglas. Do the math. Frank getting 1 million is really $350K after taxes, training, camp costs, etc. Yeah. And here's the other thing about it. You have to look at Gervonta Davis. You have to look at Gervonta Davis. If Gervonta Davis was not there, it may be a different argument. But with the presence of Gervonta Davis is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. He's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. You cannot overlook the potential to get in a ring with him. And in fact, the inevitability of you getting in the ring with him. Because Gervonta is not leaving 135. He's not. He's not leaving 135. And if you look at all of the potential fighters to fight Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin is got to be in the top 3. He's in the top 3 to get the fight. In the top 3. The chances of a Shakur Steveson fight happening is non-existent. The chance of Devin Haney fighting him is almost non-existent. Lomachenko fighting Gervonta Davis is non-existent. Keyshawn Davis fighting him is non-existent. The only people that got reasonable shots at championships with him, fights with him, the only reasonable ones that have a reasonable shot at fighting him are Isaac Cruz, Edwin De Los Santos, maybe Zepeda. It's those. Those are the only guys that really have it because those are the guys that are with PBC. And Gervonta can do 350. He does $5 million gates no matter what. No matter how much people complain on the internet about who he fights and who he's ducking. These same people have been calling Gervonta Davis a duck for 6 years now. How has that affected Gervonta? So you want him to sell out to the you want him to sell out to the also-rans? Somebody please jump on here and explain this to me, man. Please explain this to me. I need to understand. But that's why everybody picks on you at Twitter. That's why I body everybody that comes anywhere near me. And I'm wishing you would come on here and volunteer for this. As much as I love Tank versus Martin, I just don't see it as feasible. Hey, hell, a Pitbull rematch does better numbers. It doesn't matter because he can't. Planet 169. Isaac Cruz cannot fight Gervonta Davis 3 times in a row. Let me repeat. Gervonta Davis cannot fight Isaac Cruz 3 times in a row. He fights Isaac Cruz. He beats him. Then what's next? Isaac is gone. You move up the line. Did I say 16619? Then the next guy, then you move up the line. There's a finite number of people that Gervonta can fight. You think he's going to fight Monster Inoue? Dude, I'm telling you, they're not going to sell these fighters, man. Frank Martin is in line to get the Gervonta Davis fight. He is in line no matter what you guys think. He's in line. Matter of fact, he's ahead of Shakur Steveson in that line to get that fight. And that fight is worth millions to that man. Millions. Just Do Boxing said bad business shouldn't equal ducking, and either side people like to push narratives. Just Do Boxing, let me explain why I'm not going to argue about ducking. You can call it, because some people may say, no, we just want to see the fight. You're just supposed to say that you want to beat the best fighter. And if that's the case, and you're like, well, he would have got, what's going on, Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more? Okay, well, Shakur Steveson would make, isn't that a career high payday for him? Hopefully not, is my question, is my answer to that shit. It better not be. Because if that's his career high payday to date, watch this. That's a career high payday to date. Can anybody tell me what you're trying to do? Aren't you trying to look at your career earnings? Your career earnings. How much money do you keep? And how much money do you have at the end of the year? Top Rank, Shakur Steveson ain't going nowhere next year. Shakur Steveson ain't going nowhere next year. Unless you can tell me of a fighter that is with Frank J. Prince that left Top Rank. Let me know. Be interested in knowing what Top Rank fighter actually left. J. Prince fighter actually left Top Rank. Do you know of any? I don't know of any. I think they're going to stay there. And I think they're going to stay there for a while. No, he didn't leave. He left. But no, he left J. Prince before he left Bob Arum. I'm pretty sure. Let me do the research. (2006). %. He got 20%. Yep. Bob Arum, he left J. Prince before he left Bob Arum. Yeah, he left Jay Prince before he left Bob Arum. Bob Arum advanced him the money to get out of the deal with Jay Prince. Say, whoa, instead of complaining about being low by Shakur, about being lowballed, Shakur should fight more than 2-3 times this year and get back into talks with Haney and go from there. I mean, Shakur can do whatever Shakur wants. Yeah, he left Jay Prince before he left Top Rank. So I don't know anybody. I don't know of anybody that has. So until I see somebody that has, I'll suspect that he'll stay there. And Shakur Steveson, they just, it is what it is, though. When a guy starts implying I wouldn't beat him in person, whenever I talk about that, I know I won. I got his head because he doesn't know how to answer questions. Shakur ran from Devin. You out here trolling something serious, huh? No, man. These guys are not Gervonta Davis, bro. They're not trying to make big fights. But Bob Arum, we already know, is not trying to make big fights. So I don't know even though this thing is not even a big fight. Quite honestly. It's not even really a big fight. Thank you again, my guy, Jay McKinney, Mr. McKinney in the building. Nobody won't fight Shakur. He the boogeyman. No, he's not. He's got a promoter that's not trying to pay for the fights. He's not somebody. He's not a boogeyman. He's not, and I think he may be, there's a very good chance he could be the best person in that division. But it's not the problem. People want to fight Gervonta, except Devin Haney. Doesn't appear he wanted to. But, what the deal is with that. He wasn't going to get that money. Also, I don't know if any of these guys are going to get that money like they want to get it to fight Gervonta. What other fighters does Jay Prince have? I think Jay Prince represents I think he represents Jared Anderson. Matter of fact, he represents Jared Anderson. I think he represents Keyshawn Davis. Yeah, Bob Arum's not trying to make no big fights, man. But that's okay, because that's not his business model. He's trying to make money off the fight. Let me tell you what a big fight is to Bob Arum. How much money he makes the fight big. How much money he makes the fight big. Why? I don't even understand why you guys would even think this is big enough fight for Errol to make. That's a waste of Errol's money, man. Seriously, I can't believe if Errol is the promoter, right, of Frank Martin, which means that Errol fronted money for Frank Martin's training, for his housing, for all of that, man. Errol Spence Jr. may still be in the red with Frank Martin. He may still be in the red. Didn't you guys say that he made $75,000 his last fight? If he made it has to cost more than $75,000 a year for him to live and for him to train, right? Which means Errol Spence is spending that money. But you want Errol just to throw the shit away? I'm glad Errol ain't dumb. I am happy that he's not dumb. And you guys can go ahead and have your duck. I just don't want you bozos jumping up here talking about, let me tell you how it's a duck. Yeah, it's a duck. Whatever. I'll duck too. Duck. Hey, no world. Oh, this is fun. Richard Paris, thank you, brother. He said, Fanon, I want you to do a little simulation for us. In the mind of Bob Arum, what do you think the thought process would be to offer such a blasphemous split, allegedly? And also, I want you to put yourself in the mind of anyone adamant that this is a duck. How does a person even quantify the value of each of these guys to such a wide split? Okay, so first part. In the mind of Bob Arum, what do you think the process would be to offer such a blasphemous alleged split? It's this. Bob Arum, have a budget for this fight. And I have to put on a certain number of fights, championship fights for ESPN. Right now, the WBC belt is vacant, and I lost the champion in every single solitary one of the sanctioning bodies. As of right now, in a division where I have very few fighters, I don't have any champions. because Devin Haney holds 3 of the belts and 1 of them is vacant. I need these belts because I get paid to put on championship fights for ESPN. So number 1, that's my job. I get paid for putting fights on for ESPN alone, and they have a budget. I need to get this belt. So how do I get this belt? I cannot get Devin Haney won't take the fight, and he leaves, and it's up there at 140. So I can't get that fight because I was operating off of a budget. And Devin Haney wanted all of the money out of the budget because he's a smart kid and his dad is a smart guy and knows that I get paid off this budget. So they say, tell me what the budget is. And I want the vast majority of the money out of this budget. I can't do that because I won't get paid because I don't get a promotional cut out of them. So that fight really doesn't work. What's the next fight? Vasily Lomachenko. I have to pay Vasily Lomachenko. I don't want to feed Vasily Lomachenko to him because Vasily Lomachenko is going to get beat, and then Vasily Lomachenko's done. I can't rebuild Vasily Lomachenko after Shakur smokes him. Okay? I don't believe, and I don't personally think Shakur Steveson is going to be the big draw that I'd want him to be. He's too good for Shakur, and I'm going to lose a big name fighter out of Lomachenko or Shakur Steveson, either way in that fight. So that's not going to work for me. Because Lomachenko, I got aimed at the WBO title shot, or because he's going to beat Kambosos after, and so he's going to get one of those belts. Because the only 2 belts that are really open, anyway, so you get my point. Now, about the money. If it goes to purse bid, I'm not going to be able to pay Shakur Steveson enough money to take the fight out of a purse bid. Because I don't want to pay $3 million. I don't want to have to pay an exorbitant amount of money in a purse bid to get to the money that I need to pay Shakur. Again, I'll use the number $5 million. In order to pay Shakur $3 million, because he's going to have to get a certain amount of money, let's just say it's $3 million. I'm going to have to bid $5 million for the fight. In order to get to the $3 million, I'm going to have to bid $5 million. If I bid $3 million, if I pay $5 million, I'm not going to make any money on the fight because that money's not a pay-per-view fight. I'm going to lose money on the fight. I don't want to lose money on the fight. So let me go to an agreement see if I can strike an agreement to get it out of purse bid where I can pay Shakur the money that I'm supposed to pay him and give a percentage increase to Frank Martin for the fight, which is more than he made in his last fights, but is not anywhere near that what I would have to pay him in a purse bid that would allow me to actually pay Shakur what I have to pay him. Because again, the fact that the fight goes to a purse bid does not absolve me of any minimum amount of money that I have to pay to Shakur. So that's why I would say, let's get out of purse bid. How about I pay Shakur this and I pay Frank Martin twice what he got in his last fight, which he should think is a good fight because it's a big raise for him. So there you go. I think that's fair. Now, he's probably not thinking of it in the sense of a percentage split himself. Because that's not relevant to him. What he's thinking of is how much money do I have to pay for the fight out of my budget and how much money am I going to be able to get to Shakur Steveson, which I'm obligated to pay because I have an agreement with him. So that's how you could get it out of purse bid, get it away from a conversation about what the purse split is, and get it to where Frank makes more money and Shakur makes more money or makes the money that I have to pay him, and I get a fight that I think my guy can win. Win, win, win for me. Errol Spence Jr. looks at it and says, no way, no shape, no how. That doesn't work for me because that's not a win-win-win for me. What it is for me is I'm more than likely my fighter has a good chance of losing, so I lose a prospect. You're paying me next to nothing. I'm probably not even going to recoup my investment that I've made in Frank to date. And we're not going to get the belt. And we're out of line now. We got to go back further in line from getting the money fight that I want to get, which is the Tank fight. So that's what it looks like to me. If I had to get in the mind of Errol, and I got to get in the mind of Bob Arum, because Errol is the promoter of Frank Martin, whether people want to pay him respect to that or not. He's got to get his money just like Bob Arum's got to get his money. Right? And Bob Arum makes long-term investments in fighters. He'll get them up to 30 fights before they come anywhere near a championship. Same thing that Errol Spence Jr. can think as a promoter with Frank Martin. I need a bunch of fights out of Frank Martin so we make money over the long haul. I don't need to go for the first opportunity that may actually screw me up in the long run. Now, the second part of it is, put yourself in the mind of anyone adamant that this is a duck. Somebody that would think that this is a duck would be somebody that doesn't care anything about the money. And they only care about me. They're treating it like it's a backroom brawl. And saying, look, man, you got an opportunity to fight for this belt. Hey, man, if you think you can win, you'll take the chance for whatever amount of money they offer you. So they have no thought they're not in the mindset of thinking what's good for Frank Martin's career. And whether or not Frank Martin is ready for the fight, number one. Is he even ready to fight Shakur? How many fights has he had? Right? So they don't even care about this. Watch this. Frank Martin, Talk Trek. Frank Martin has 18 fights. So they won't take into consideration that Frank Martin only has 18 fights. And on top of that, let's go over to Frank Martin again. He has only started fighting He was fighting 8-round fights, 6-round fights 3 years ago. He's only fought 6-round fights 3 years ago. He's only been a professional for 5 years. Let's look at Michelle. Let's look at who? Let's look at Devin Haney. How old was Devin Haney? Where was Devin Haney in his career before he fought for a championship shot? He turned pro in 2015. He fought George Kambosos 7 years later and had over 10 more fights. So people that would call it a duck are people that just do not look at the progress in the career of or have the interest in the development of Frank Martin as a fighter. Yeah, Devin earned his shot. Yeah, he did earn his shot. They didn't put him in there at 18 fights, though. They didn't put him at 18 fights. Let me look at somebody else. Let me look at Jared Anderson. Let's look at Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson is 16-0. Turned pro the same year as Frank Martin. And they're not throwing him in there. They're not throwing him in there with Deontay Wilder. Are they? They're not throwing him in there with Deontay Wilder. So, number one, Frank Martin's only got 18 fights. He just started fighting 10-round fights 2 years ago. He's coming off of a fight that was a difficult fight for him. He's not the number one or number two or number three guy. He's there because Bob Arum didn't want to give the other guys to Shakur Steveson. But regardless, and for you to think it's a duck, you just got to not care about any of that. And you have to say, well, he's got an opportunity for the fight. He's got to take the fight. And if that's what you believe to be the case, then, that's what you consider to be the case. Hustle Man Rame in the building said, do you think at the end will be Tank and Shakur? What's your vision for 9? No, I do not think it's going to be Tank and Shakur. I think Shakur is going to have to go to 140. I think Shakur is going to be moved up to 140 because he's with Top Rank. I don't think that they're going to fight Gervonta Davis. I don't think that they are, because it's going to be like Floyd Mayweather and those Top Rank fighters. Bob Arum is not giving his fighters over to fight anybody in the PBC unless they're 80% sure their guy's going to win. And they're going to make a bunch of money doing it, which they're not going to do because they're not on a budget. You've got to get a percentage of the pay-per-view. And I'm telling you, Terrence Crawford's negotiations made that more difficult. That's my take on it. Thank you, brother. Yeah, he's going to have to fight Raymond Muratalla. He's going to have to fight some heavy hitter, come at you type of dude. Another thing you have said has been false. I don't know what you're talking about. What is this guy? The fuck is this stupid receipt shit? Excuse my language. King, how can I help you?
What's up, man?
Same thing as every day.
This is a blatant duck, bro. I don't know why you're out here trying to defend this, but this is a duck. You don't agree to a deal and then ask for 50-50 after you've told the council that you guys have come to an agreement. You don't
know if any of that's true.
You don't do that.
You don't know if that's
true.
You
know why they have purse bids, right?
You don't know if that's true. You don't know if that's true.
I don't know if that's true.
What you just said.
The whole thing or part of it?
The part where you said you don't turn down, you don't accept a deal and then turn it down. You don't know if that's true.
Do you know why they negotiate before the purse bid? You know why that happens? You're a smart.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so they negotiate so that the two parties can come to an agreement, whether it's the split, the location, the date, all that stuff, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely. That's why somebody would do it. Yes.
So they don't have to go to a purse bid. Because if they go to a purse bid, any promoter can bid on it. So
correct.
For them, both companies, Tom Brown, TGB, or Man Down, whatever, and Top Rank, Bob Arum, to tell the WBC that we have come to an agreement. We do not need purse bids. Let's cancel the purse bids. For them to do that, that means they agreed. Am I wrong?
I don't know if you're wrong because I don't know if any of that's true. Again, you don't know that's
logical,
true.
Brother.
No, you do not know that that's true.
I just explained why purse bids and negotiations.
Dude, you gave me a general explanation of how negotiations work, but what you said is not necessarily true. You can, yes, it is true that you would enter in a negotiation to try to get a deal done. That is true. Yes, you would. If you enter into a negotiation and you get a deal, you get two basic terms done, and then you tell the WBC that we've agreed to terms and they cancel the purse bid, they would, yes, that's true. They would cancel the purse bid. But also what is not true is that you can say to them, we are negotiating and we believe that we have a deal. We're close to it. Will you cancel the purse bid? Because that also happens. There's more than one reason. That a purse bid will get canceled. There's been multiple fights where they ordered a purse bid and then they called the purse bid off because they asked for an extension because they believed they were close to a deal.
Yes, but this was no extension. This was both parties agreeing.
They asked for an extension, but they canceled the purse bid. They canceled the purse bid. All we know is they canceled the purse bid. It is reported that they came up with a deal, but apparently they didn't come up with a deal. And you know why? Do you know why it's logical to say that they didn't come up with a deal?
I don't know.
Because they didn't sign a deal.
You don't have to sign a deal to agree to terms, brother.
Excuse me.
You can agree to terms.
You do not have a deal done unless they agree to it. We know for sure that they did not agree to a deal. We know this.
The first part is the terms, then comes the contract.
You can know that's the negotiation. You do not have a deal until they've agreed to a deal. They said that they were going to send, they being Mike Coppinger, said that they were going to send a contract over the next day. When they sent the contract over the next day, they said no the next day. So the only thing that we know for sure is that they didn't agree to anything because they said no. That's the only thing we know. You don't know for sure whether they came to an agreement on basic terms beforehand. That's what Mike Coppinger reported. You do not know for sure that the reason that the purse bid was canceled was because they didn't say they believe they will get a deal, that they actually have one. You don't know that for sure. You're relying on a report from the media.
Everything in boxing is like that. We don't know for sure.
No,
So
you
what
do
does that
not.
mean?
No. You do know this for sure. What you know for sure is that Frank Martin did not accept the deal that was offered by Top Rank. We know that. That's the only thing we know.
They must have agreed to something before the
No, they
first
must
bid.
not have. You don't know that.
See,
You don't know that.
You guys are trying to get cute with the speculative
You're
type.
just trying to make a lot of assumptions, and I'm going to stick with what I know to be true.
I'm not trying to get cute. You guys are trying to get cute.
I don't care about your cute. I know that you're making assumptions based off what Mike Coppinger said. That's all you're going off of. Mike Coppinger gave dates to fights being finished on multiple occasions and was dead wrong. Mike Coppinger in the past had said certain things were going on with fights like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence in order and just for Floyd Mayweather Jr. to go on Twitter and tell you that he's not telling you the truth. So you're giving me a source from somebody that is compromised, who is publicly given bad information about negotiations between PBC and other fighters before. A guy that is publicly known to be on the outs with the PBC because he wasn't even allowed to cover the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight. He is also on record saying that he knows how to get back at people. So you're quoting somebody that who has questionable credibility on the matter. And you do not, from the beginning, he has questionable credibility. Second, you do not know any of these things to be the case. Even if he didn't have questionable credibility. The only thing you know for sure, is that Frank Martin said no to the fight. Because everybody said that's the case.
So when we
that's
have
the only thing you know.
When we have all the details available, and if it's a duck, will you call it a duck?
Excuse me. When we have all the details available.
And if it's a duck, will you call it a duck?
If it's a duck, if I think it's a duck, will I call it a duck? What kind of sense is that? If you don't have any information, why are you calling it a duck? When you don't have any verified information.
I've seen enough things to make my decision.
That's your opinion, right? So that's your opinion.
Just like it's yours that he didn't duck, right?
I didn't say anything about him ducking or not ducking. I never said that.
No, I'm assuming that would be your...
Stop making assumptions with me.
I
never said that. I said if you want to call it a duck, call it a duck. I don't care what you say. Whether you want to call it a duck, call it a duck. If it fits your definition of duck, call it a duck.
It's a blatant duck, just like Shakur ducked Devin with the 25%. But
if you want to call that a duck, call it a duck. I don't care.
Both things are a duck, but now I'm defending Shakur. But
I don't care. And none of that do I care about. Because Shakur would be dumb to take that offer. And Frank, from what I know, would be dumb to take that offer. I think they would be dumb, and I don't think they're dumb. But if you want to call it a duck, have at it.
Hey, all respect to you then. Yeah.
I mean, you don't listen. Respect me by listening before you start speaking.
I still have to say that the part that I said. I mean,
No, you said that yesterday. We already got rid of that yesterday. You're just repeating yourself. You do not know that happened. You don't know.
but there's a lot of things we don't know. We just try to talk about it because it's about
No,
bro.
no. When
That's
I
what
say I don't know, when I say I don't know, I say I don't know.
this is why you're on the show, right? Like,
No,
we
that's
talk
you.
about stuff.
When I say I don't know, I say I don't know. Stick that to you. When I say I don't know, I say I don't know. I don't know. I did not call Terrence. I didn't say I thought Terrence Crawford was ducking until I know he turned down the fight. And I know that he said he had accepted it because it came out of his team's mouth. After that, he turned around and didn't take it and took another fight without even telling Errol. That, to me, I knew all of those things before I said it. Thank you very much. You live by that standard. I don't live by that standard. If
All right,
I don't know it, I'm going to say, I don't know this.
I'm usually
Try it.
the top comment of people saying I'm right in your live stream, so I don't know
Excuse
what.
me, man. I swear to God, dude.
No, I'm not
Stop
talking
talking
about your chat.
about. Stop being a. You're
Comment.
sounding like you're not well when you
Comment.
say that.
I'm talking about comments, not chat. But
What do
yeah,
you? Who cares? I don't. First of all, nobody thinks you're right. They're trolling you. G Merch is dumb. Does not believe that you're right. He
no, I'm
is
not. I'm talking about
trolling
your
you.
comments when you actually are done with the live stream. There's comments saying King was right about this.
I don't care if you put something in there.
Not
More than the 3 or 4 people that leave a comment and it's done, said and done. I don't care. So what?
So all these moderators that are,
I do. So what?
it
You're
is what
not
it
even
is.
talking boxing now, bro. Just stop.
That was
It's
my
sad
opinion
at this.
on the
It's
situation.
sad at this point, bro.
That was my opinion, bro. And thank you
Your
for letting me.
opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. Do you have something to say to me?
That's it.
You don't
That's it.
got something to say? Then thank you, man. Appreciate you. Have a great day. Christian, how can I help you?
Hey, how you doing, Fanon? How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing well, man. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm a little under the weather, but can't complain too much, man. I'm still here, sticking it out, man. Hey, first off, I want to tell you, man, I really enjoy the show, man. One thing I really respect about you is your consistency, man. You know, a lot of boxing voices in this space, they post videos, but the fact that every morning you go live and actually talk to your audience, it take a lot of heart, a lot of consistency. Because whether people want to agree with you or not, you're not just spewing or saying anything. You actually will face the music and face your crowd.
I
So yeah,
appreciate you, Christian. Thank you, man.
definitely enjoy the space. Um, I don't with the Frank and Shakur thing, man. I think we're all boxing fans. I'm a boxing fan. I wanted to see the fight. It's kind of a letdown. Um, I get the business involved. Uh, I don't like to call none of the fighters ducks. I think all of them will fight each other for free if they had a chance. This is what they do. They're not scared of each other. I don't think it's a good look though, because you know we got you got Earl on record saying that he wanted to make a fight with Frank and Shakur, via Twitter, a little back and forth. Could have just been banter, in the midst of some crap talking. You got they got videos of Frank Martin floating around with him saying before that he would take less to, be an underdog and fight somebody else to, then get control and get leverage in the division. And I think the thing for me, Mike Carpenter, we all know he's an idiot. And he's been wrong before. But, I think a difference, I know when he announced the Spence and Crawford fight, the thing that I liked, and I didn't like it when it happened, but it made a lot of sense. When he announced it, I think Crawford jumped on Twitter almost immediately and said, "Hey, is this April Fool's or something?" Because the fight wasn't made. I think he announced it for like June, and Crawford just quickly shot that down. So what just looks funny to me is just some of the things that Frank has said, some of the things Earl has said, and then the fact that you had Mike Carpenter announce the fight. You had the WBC, their official Instagram page, posted Frank and Shakur announcing the fight, and Frank never just acknowledged any of this. It's just let it float around for days without, just hey, nothing's happened. We don't got no agreement. I think that would have saved him a lot of a lot of kind of the backlash she's getting. You know, I don't call anybody a duck. I would just say, you know, it's kind of disappointing. I just wish they would have got, you know, maybe his side or somebody would have got ahead of it and kind of gauged expectations. Because man, I was really excited for that one. But yeah, that's all I got on it, man.
Oh, for sure, man. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure. For now, man. Keep up the good work, man. Like I say, man. Hey, a lot of them dudes, they ain't got the heart to do what you do, man. You gonna go live and you actually gonna talk to shit. You challenge them. Come on out here. You on Twitter. You going against what I'm saying. You think I'm lying. Come on, bring your facts and let's talk it out. So I really appreciate that, man. I really respect that.
Hey, man. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for stopping by, man.
All right, man. You keep up the good work.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Be safe out there, man. Peace. Oh yeah, man. I'm not saying I definitely agree it's a bad look. Be well for 9. Gotcha on Wild driving to work. Appreciate you. Shout out to the usual suspects in boxing in the chat. God be bless you, man. God bless you as well, man. Thank you, brother, for that support, man. Leo Shang in the building. $2 to please keep him off. I mean, it is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is with all of that, man. Look, man, I can defend what I got to say. If I'm tired of the whole duck conversation, you just saw the name calling and all that, man. Like for real, whatever. I don't know what the timing of all that stuff was, but if the WBC announced the fight, they should have waited till that contract was signed. You know what I mean? They should have waited till that contract was signed. If the WBC want to jump, shouldn't have jumped so fast. Shouldn't have ran with it so fast. You know? And it may be a problem for Nan and King be bad. Man, I ain't battling nobody, man. That dude ain't no battle. That dude is what you call a joke. Like, and I don't mean to be like, actually, yeah, that shit's a joke, man. It's the same corny line, bro. It's like all of the corny things that people say in boxing Twitter and on boxing chats and all this stuff balled into one. What's going on, Rick Timms? How you feeling, brother? Just Do Boxing in the building. What's going on, Just Do Boxing? Can't hear you, man.
Oh, pardon me. What's good, OG?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I can't complain about a thing.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling today? I've been listening.
I'm good.
I've been listening, man. I appreciate you always adding clarity to these situations where people, you know, use them to push narratives. And I'm glad that you just somebody that don't do it, man. I appreciate it. And like I was saying in the chat, I agree. The duck narrative is cool. Like, I mean, it's old, it's corny, it's played out. I spoke on this a little bit yesterday as well, and I'm past the name calling, duck this, duck that. Before Shakur and Frank Martin was a thing, everybody looked at Frank Martin as a real fighter, right? You get what I'm saying? You feel like he'd get in there with anybody. Same for Shakur. So, I mean, I feel like soon as the business side of things don't work itself out, we get to blaming one side or the other. And from what I understand from listening to you, it just seems like, and look, I'm just going to call it how I see it. Seems like, you know, some bad business is being done on the side of Top Rank, which is stopping this fight from being made. What you think? What do you think was the true holdup? Is it, you know, the bad business that it seems like Top Rank is notoriously known for doing? That's obviously stopping fights from being made, because it's sad that a guy this talented is having such a hard time getting a fight. And the fact that they were unable to secure a Lomachenko fight and these guys are on the same side is very disappointing. And then as they continue to move down the line, you get to Frank Martin and y'all give us an announcement, and the fight fan in me got excited. So I'm still pissed off we're not getting a fight, but I'm past calling either guy a duck, because it got to be deeper than that. I don't see either guy as being scared to get in the ring with each other. And only thing I can think logically based on what's being told is the business didn't line up for one guy or the other. And for what I'm hearing is Frank Martin. Now I'm hearing that he demanded 50-50. And I said this before, I'm not here to tell a fighter what they deserve to get punched in the face, but I'm an advocate for guys getting treated fairly. And in this case, from what I'm hearing, just don't seem like Frank Martin was awarded that opportunity to be treated, you know, fairly in this situation, if that's the word you want to use, fairly. So
was that a question?
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think? What do you think really was the holdup for this fight? And I hate to say this, but who's at fault? Because I just get frustrated when people go back and forth blaming the fighters. Duck this, duck that. I think that's corny. I think it's deeper than that. And I think, we don't have enough information to just, you know what I'm saying, just throw one guy or the other under the bus. And is it Shakur responsible for what Frank Martin is being offered? Or is it Bob Arum, Top Rank? Like, who's at fault for what he's being offered? Is it Shakur's fault that he's getting offered low money in this case?
Okay, so let me I'll give it my take. It's going to be a bit of a long answer, but every fight has a bunch of people who are interested parties in the fight. So things have to work out. In order for a fight to take place, it has to work out for everybody. It has to work out for a lot of people that have vested interest in it. So you have the promoter, right? You have the network. You have the fighter. And what it is that each of those guys want. So and if any one of those people don't want the fight's not going to happen, right? If it doesn't work for one of them,
right?
So take, for example, in this scenario, you have ESPN, and Showtime, right? ESPN doesn't want the fight. ESPN's not going to pay for the fight, right? So it has to be something that ESPN wants. If ESPN doesn't want a boxing match, ESPN is not going to. If he doesn't want a boxing match, they're not going to televise the fight. If Showtime does not want to give up a date or a time for a fight, then Showtime is not going to do it, right? So they are involved, and so that comes into play. Bob Arum has to make money on the fight. Errol Spence Jr. has to make money on the fight.
Right.
They both have to make money on the fight. If Bob Arum does not want the fight to happen, the fight is not going to happen. People say, well, the boxer can tell the promoter to do whatever he wants to do. It's not true.
Right.
Yeah. They're not going to lose money. So Bob Arum is operating on a budget.
He said he's not we'll take chances, but we're not gamblers.
Yeah. We'll take chances, but we're not gambling.
Right.
So that's what the situation with Shakur and Gervonta. Right.
Right.
So he said, so what is he going to do with Shakur? He's obligated to give Shakur a fight.
Right.
So he's going to have, but he's also has a relationship with Top Rank, and Top Rank's only going to pay so much money for the fight.
And that was my thoughts. That's why I thought the money that they threw out there was just a bogus number. I mean, where are you getting these numbers from?
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are, but I know that there's a certain amount of money that Bob Arum has to pay Shakur for any fight,
right,
and for championship fights. There's also a certain amount of money that he has in his budget that he can afford to pay for the fight, and he gets paid off the difference, at least from a high level. He gets paid off the difference.
Right.
Errol Spence Jr. also has invested money in Shakur Steveson. Invested money, because if it's what they say is true, that Shakur made $75,000 in his last fight, right? And say he made over the last year, he made $275,000 in the last year or 2 years fighting. But Errol Spence Jr. has invested $500,000 in him for the last 5 years.
Right.
Then why would Errol Spence take the chance of losing a potential fight down the road for him, and for him to not just recoup what he invested, but to make money in that scenario? So from what it looked from the outside looking in, it could very well be a scenario where Tom Brown says, okay, yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, I think we'll take that. And Bob Arum says, cool, okay, so we'll call the WBC and say, yeah, you guys got a deal? Yeah, we're there. We pretty much got a deal. Yeah, we just need to send over the contract. Then they send over the contract, and Errol Spence gets the contract, or Frank gets a contract. He's like, hold on, man. Why am I getting one while he's getting 6? That's 18%. No, that means I'm going to walk away with 3, or better yet, Al gets it. and covers it with them and says, and then they say no. So it may not have anything to do with the fact that these guys don't think they can beat one guy can think he can beat the other. But it's like, look, man, it's not going to Bob Arum. It's expensive. Like when Bob Arum fights in-house fighters, it's two guys that work for him.
Right.
So if Shakur loses to his guy, he keeps it's like
win either way.
He wins either way.
Wins either way, right?
But if Errol loses Frank, that's his only fighter.
True. So why take a alleged bad deal? If that's the case, I'm not saying Top Rank is doing it, but if this is exactly the case, that's what it sounds like. Sound like, you know, look, Frank Martin ain't getting treated fairly in his eyes. And now I'm seeing that he's saying 50-50 or nothing. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I just hate when fights like this get messed up. Like I'm past the narratives and the rhetoric, the duck talk. I look at both of those dudes as real fighters, and I just would have looked forward to seeing this fight. And I'm still mad. Being a guy from Jersey, I'm still mad for Shakur that he didn't get this fight. It's just it's been a circus since he got to 35, and I can't tell him what to do with his career, but it's starting to seem like it's a common denominator every time it's time for him to make a fight of any substance, and it's frustrating to watch and have to sit through. But hopefully he secures an opponent, because I think
I think that his issue is not him.
Right.
I don't think his issue is him. The issue is this. The money is not with the belts there. The money is sitting with Gervonta. That's the money.
Right.
The money is not his side of the street. They could have all the belts over there. That side of the street doesn't have the money.
Right.
So you've got guys like Devin Haney who says, look, man, Shakur, what's the budget that you have? I need 75% of that budget. Otherwise, it's not worth me taking a risk on you.
Right.
Then you've got Gervonta where it's not worth Bob Arum taking a risk on Gervonta.
Right.
Because Gervonta, there's no budget there. So now you're talking about purse splits. And with Frank, the money, the risk, it's not there for Errol. Like, from what I see, Frank is one thing. Errol is something else. Errol is how long has Errol been promoting him and been backing him?
Right.
I don't know if you listened to that conversation that took place between manager Marty and Rick Glazier when they talked about these guys don't know how to make big fights, right? When he said the PBC doesn't know how to make big fights.
Yeah, I caught some of it.
Yeah, well, what one of the points that Rick Glazier made that I think is legitimate to the business model for promoters is that they want to make sure the guy is fighting often, gets a lot of fights, and that's how you grow a big fight. And he said that the thing that the PBC doesn't do is they don't have matchmakers. So they put a guy in there, and then the guy fights a guy too early and he loses. So now this guy never becomes a big star for your promotional outfit because you've not done the things that you need to do in order to build his name, which is to have him fight often.
Right.
This falls right into that description of poor matchmaking. Number one, they've not given Frank Martin anybody that looks like Shakur Steveson.
Right.
He's only has 18 fights. He's just getting his name to be known. He's a little bit, I think he's a little bit ahead of guys like Keyshawn Davis.
Right.
But he's not much ahead of that, but you're just gonna throw him in there for a championship shot when you're not 80% sure he's gonna win the fight.
Right. And on a bad deal, if that's the case,
but I'm saying it's just not all money is good money.
Right. It wouldn't make sense. Bad business.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it'd be a bad move. Right.
So Frank is saying, I ain't duck nothing.
But I want more money.
Because, dude, if you're gonna pay me if we got a $7 million budget and you're gonna give me $3.5 million, bro, you jump Errol way down the line on getting his, because he gets all his money back and a profit, because you just don't invest just to get your money back. You invest to make money. So number one, Errol gets his money. He gets his money back. Frank Martin can walk away after everything's said and done with $1.5 million. He walks away with $1.5 million. He's got $1.5 million down the bank in the bank.
Right.
It's worth a chance.
Right. True indeed.
So to me, I don't think it's Shakur's problem. I think the key of this is really still the separation of the promotional outfits, how promoters actually make their money, and how fighters and the fact that fighters have to invest. People have to invest in fighters, and they got to get their money back, and then they got to get a return on the investment that they made. And Errol Spence Jr. has a fighter that is a good fighter that definitely has the ability to stay up and get a big fight with Gervonta, and Gervonta's not going to offer him $1 million for a fight.
Right.
That is way more chance there. And statistically speaking, Frank got just as good a chance of beating Gervonta as he does Errol, as he does Shakur.
Right. I get
So anyway, that's my take on it. That's what I think.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the insight as always. This is why I come here. And unlike, I don't know how about everybody else, I can only speak for me. I'm a student of this. So this is one of the main reasons why I come to this channel. You get what I'm saying? I could always learn. It's always something to learn. You just gave me some game, and that's exactly why I come here. So I appreciate it. And man, hopefully we get a fight that's worth our time, man. Because I'm still gutted over this, man. I'm disappointed. I wanted to see this fight for both of these dudes, but it is what it is. I guess the business of boxing strikes again, man.
But I keep telling people it's just business.
Right.
You invest in somebody. It's just the principles of business. It doesn't matter what you do. You're not happening. If it was the same scenario in the NFL and there was not revenue sharing in the NFL. You know what I mean? You can't get away with that shit in the NFL. You can't get away with a guy like who's a low money team in the NFL. Doesn't make where it's not a big market, right? Like I don't even know who would be. I'm not as good. Just say Jacksonville, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars is definitely making less money than the Dallas Cowboys are.
Facts.
But because the Dallas Cowboys, that's why they had to, in order to have a league, you had to negotiate revenue sharing. Right? Yeah, the Panthers. You have to negotiate it because they're like, hold on, man. We need some of this. You can't make all that money in Dallas if you don't have teams to play. So the simple fact that we're here and there are other teams mean you guys actually have to share the money, a percentage of the money that you make to the league, because without the league, there's no you. True. If you did not have some degree of that, these very wealthy big billionaires that want to grow they wouldn't do it.
Right.
They're not going to be doing that shit for the love of football.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, this shit wouldn't be happening. Same thing with the NBA, revenue sharing. Same thing with the majors. That's why they have a pay scale in professional tennis. For the further you go, the more money you get.
True.
Right? And then men and women wanted, we want equal pay as the men. In those sports, there are the big stars, but just like there's big name basketball teams, but a rising tide lifts all boats. In boxing, you guys got these guys acting like they're not party to the negotiation. They're not, that there's not a reason. The reason you would be getting $6 million, Shakur, is because you're fighting this guy.
Right.
That's part of it. And nobody in their right mind is going to do. The business can't exist without it.
Right.
It can't exist without it. And that is business. And you're going to find that anywhere, no matter what people do to make money. Right. You can love your job, but you are not going to get out there and do that job if they're not paying you. You will go do a job that you don't like with somebody that is paying you.
Right.
Because the reason that they have to pay you is because they, at least to a certain portion, are getting that money because of the job you're doing. So when you get a percentage purse of 60-40 that is mandated, and you allow somebody that's not in your team to, whether it's a PBC person that's not on your team, whether it is Tom Brown, who's a much more experienced negotiator than Errol Spence Jr. is. If Errol, I think that the most likely breakdown was between Tom Brown and Errol. Because if I'm Errol, I'm not taking that shit.
Right.
And I mean that shit. And they just got to label it a duck, dog. So what?
But
Don't lose out on millions of dollars,
though. And that's and listen, Shakur is my favorite fighter, but I would not get up here and call Frank Martin a duck. And again, we're just going, if that is the case in terms of how the business is unfolding, I understand him and his team's positioning not to take that fight. And I think it's deeper than ducking. You get what I'm saying? Just to be fair, not to rehash, but I felt the same way with the Haney and Shakur situation. You didn't have to take that. I didn't fault him. Didn't think he was a duck for not taking the first thing thrown at him. And to keep it consistent, it's the same thing with Frank Martin. I don't feel like he a duck. I think it's overused. And this is why I want to gather as much information as possible. I could sit here and talk the X's and O's of boxing all day, but this business side is the side that I definitely want to understand more of as I, continue my little journey, man. So I appreciate the words and the insight.
No worries, bro. This shit becomes predictable.
Right.
Right. I mean, as far as that shit, because I was honestly, man, I was like, what?
Right.
Like, but then it's 60-40. But that's an asset, man. That's it. But all right, brother, I appreciate you, man.
No, it's all good, Ben. Appreciate you, all man. Right, much love and appreciation, man. I'll be checking in. I'll be in the chat.
Thank you, brother. Peace.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. It's like that thing that how Terrence Crawford, he learned about that advance. Not the advance, which really could have been the guarantee, right? Where it's like, hold on, man, these guarantees, I don't know, man, because they got to make their money. And then once they make their money, they want a higher percentage of the remainder of the money. Why? Because they're the ones that took the risk. Who's taking the most risk in this fight between Shakur Steveson and Frank Martin? Really? Who's taking the most risk? Shakur is taking the most risk. Not Shakur, excuse me. Frank Martin is taking the most risk. Frank is taking the most risk. Errol would be taking the most risk. So the higher the risk, the more reward I want. You want a guy to get exponentially more money but yet he is taking less risk. That's why I thought Errol should have never budged off Terrence, because he's taking a lot of risk fighting him. It's not, you know what I mean? Hey, fans trying to establish blame based off hearsay. It's okay not to accuse Shakur's side of a bad deal or Frank of ducking until it's more info. They could still be negotiating. Stop believing third-party announcements, especially guys that just want to be the first guy out there. It's nice to be the first. I ain't gonna lie. It is nice to be the first. But on the real, I'm not trying to hear all that. And just think your way through the issue. Think your way all the way through the issue. How could a deal be done if the deal's not done? How is it? That's like something you learn. That's like something you learn in grade school. Mama, I did my homework. Why does it say 0 on your report card, though? But I did it. Well, why does it say 0 under homework? Well, I didn't turn it in. You did it, but you didn't turn it. You didn't complete your assignment. Yes, I did. I did it. See? But you didn't turn it in. You didn't turn it in. The assignment is to complete your homework and turn it in. How can you say that a deal is done when the deal ain't done? If they have not signed the agreement, the deal is not done. If you do all the homework, you write it all down, but you don't go to school to turn it in, you did not complete your assignment. I can tell you he don't F around. He's the reason Leonard Ellerby is limping. What are you talking about, CG Cap? I don't know what you mean by that, CG Cap. You have to enlighten me on that. So anyway, yes, but if you are going to be first out there, at least have all the facts. Dude, he put the facts out there. The fact is that they're going to send the contract tomorrow. That fact is in there. Mike Coppinger, you just got to listen to the facts. You just got to read the whole thing. The A is in the detail. And the detail, that's what my professor used to tell me. The A is in the detail. And the detail is me. So the A is in you telling me what I taught you. Exactly. Original report was clearly wrong. Nothing was ever agreed to. If that was wrong, how can you believe purses or anything? The entire thing has no credibility. No, it doesn't, but it has a lot of reach. Man, come on, bro. Hold on a second, man. Come on, man. Bro, I need you to do these things. Oh. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. What do you mean Jay Prince confirmed what was real? Look, man, I'll believe it when the guys. All right, I'll check it. Man, bro, Shakur Steveson is like his own worst enemy, man. Dude, the fight is, dude, just get your people to make. I'll tell you the difference since you acting just as weird as these fans. One was offered quadruple more than he's ever made in his entire career, and the other was offered less than he made in his last 3 fights. For the biggest, was offered less than he made in his last 3 fights for the big of his career, and I didn't turn it down. No, he didn't turn it down. He did not turn down the fight because Shakur Steveson, because Devin Haney dropped the belt. That's an observation that's true. The other one, Shakur, is that's not your, how much he makes ain't your problem. Why are you counting his money? It's whether or not he thinks it is worth it. It's whether or not he thinks it's worth it. I'm telling you, he's his own worst enemy, man. That shit, nobody care about that shit. You say Shakur saying, you doing the same. Who cares? In one scenario, you didn't think that it was enough money for you. And Devin was looking at your bank and talking about how much money you made. Shakur, Frank is looking at how much money he's going to make and saying, you're not worth it. He didn't fight Shakur Steveson. He didn't fight Shakur Steveson in his last fight. He didn't fight Shakur Steveson in his last fight. So what do you care? Man, Frank ain't got to speak up, man. He ain't got to do nothing but do what he's doing. Man, don't nobody care. He does not have to speak up. For what? To keep bantering back and forth about this stupid shit? Number one, 60-40 is the purse required. 60-40. If you're not going to give me what I want, go to purse bid. Just like Shakur did. Go to purse bid. Same move. I'll get 40% at purse bid. I don't know who told you I was going to sign an agreement for less than 40% of the total purse, but I'm not going to do it. You trying to look at somebody else's, oh, this is you. I hate that shit. And I'm going to tell you, personally, I hate that shit. I hate it. It is a dirty it's a dirty, oppressive negotiation tactic. And it doesn't go anywhere else. How much is the job worth? Not how much money was my job's worth before. What is the fair market value for the fight? The fair market value for this fight is 60-40 because that market value was established by the WBC. That is the market value. 40% of the total purse is the market value. It is not one, you don't get to tell me what my market value is. When the market value is established. If it was a voluntary fight, it would be something else. This is not a market. This is not a voluntary fight. The rest of those fights were voluntary fights. So the market value is not established for voluntary fights. Somebody please debate me on this. You all suck. The market value for the fight is established. 40% of the total purse goes to Frank Martin. 60% of the total purse goes to Shakur Steveson. If somebody negotiated Frank Martin out of that, that is their fault. They shouldn't have negotiated Frank Martin out of it. What is the total purse you're going to pay? Well, my purse is going to be $6 million. The total purse I'm going to pay in this is $7 million. Well, it's going to be a little bit more expensive for you to get out of the purse bid then. It's going to be a little more expensive for you to get out of this purse bid. Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Sorry. So that's my reaction to Shakur Stevenson's statement. I think that is not what he did. Even if he wants to look at the total amount of money that he would have made, you don't know because it would have went to purse bid. He still went to purse bid. Frank probably would have taken 60-40 if you spit in my face and send a contract for 14. I ain't want to talk to you no more. Dude, he can just go fight somebody else. And how about I do this? How about it's quadruple than what I made, right? Well, how about this? How about I go fight 4 people and I don't lose? And then we revisit this. How about that? It's worth 100 times, but you want to pay me 4 more times, more than what it's worth. That sounds like somebody going from playing the NCAA basketball, and they say, hold on, man. I know you're the number 1 draft pick. I know you're the number 1 draft pick, but we're going to offer you $30,000 a year. Why is that? Because that's way more money than you were making in college. Yeah, but I'm not in college anymore. That is a whack ass argument you got there, Shakur, and you need to sit down with that argument. It's a bad one. And also, why you always shitting on people that support you? Champ Side been supporting you for years. I mean, God dog, I'm telling you, these boxers will shit on a channel that will support them through thick and thin. The second they say something that they don't like. Other fights at 35 are easy ones with okay money. Gervonta Davis is great money. Timothy Stoudemire, why? To not go to purse bid, that's exactly what you need to do. To not go to purse bid. That's what you're supposed to do, Timothy Stoudemire. That's what you're supposed to do. It's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. Aren't you? Please debate me on this. That's what you're supposed to do. The minimum is 40. So he says 50-50 or no. Because the least I'm supposed to get is 40. So if you want to do it with no purse bid, 50-50. Why would you do less? It's the same thing I said about Shakur and Devin. Why would you take 25 when you can get 30? When the going rate, the statutory rate is 30. Why would you go to 25? Huh? I don't think Shakur ducked Devin. I think Devin priced himself out. Same standard here. I think Shakur's team is pricing himself out. Because guess what Devin thought when he priced himself out? I'll go fight somebody else. And then he goes and gets money from Bill Haney. He'll go get money from whatever he's getting over on Matchroom, where he came from. Goes back to the zone. Right? Right? Said, hey, you aim higher when you would settle for a mandatory split if you need to. Exactly. That's what he's supposed to do. Christian, how can I help you, man?
Hey, what's up, Fanon? I'm just playing devil's advocate, man. I know you want to jump into this topic. I love this topic. So the question was taking less of a percentage. Your market value should be 50-50 for the fight, correct?
No, the established market value is 60-40.
60-40. All right, gotcha. Like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate. You know, it's an old saying. First and foremost, I was watching Gil's Arena, and he said, hey, an NBA owner told him, your market value is whatever I write on this check.
It is. That's very true. It is.
Yeah, and then it's a saying that, you know, someone told me in business, you know, would you rather have 100% of a grape or 25% of a watermelon?
Right.
So, you know, we have a situation here where Frank is getting what, 25? What's the percentage they're saying that Shakur off? I seen someone say
it would be of the total purses paid. It's 18, I think. 18%.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But you know, I'm saying that, you know, I saw something like 17%, but they're saying that it's 4 times what he's higher than what he's ever made, is what they're saying. And I get it. If you owe 40%, you should take that 40%. But at the same time, what I don't understand is how did they come to any type of agreement on this? You know, how did they initially say yes to $1 million and then backtrack? You know, and sometimes $1 million is just what somebody wants. I know some fights, I think maybe like Earl and Crawford, I don't know if they was too hung up on percentages. I think the big holdup was Crawford had a money mark in mind. I don't even think he cared about a percentage. I think he wanted a certain amount of money. And I think Al Heyman was telling him, hey, don't do that. You know, you might be pricing yourself out, or you might be shorting yourself. You should just go the percentage route, because you just want an amount of money, you putting a cap on what you can get. But I mean, if $1 million was good for Frank at first, I don't get why I don't get how they came to terms, and then they backed out of it. I don't understand it.
I'll explain to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just like I said when Terrence Crawford said he had agreed to everything with Errol. I told people then, back the first time before he fought David Avanesyan, he didn't agree to everything. He didn't. You don't agree to everything until you sign that contract and it's executed. No. He didn't agree. The answer to that is he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but you would think they got to have signed some type of term sheet or something the way they announced that fight. No term sheet, no nothing.
Dude, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't agree to it. Obviously, they didn't agree to it.
Yeah.
Because when they sent the agreement and tried to execute it, they didn't. So all we know is he didn't sign it.
For sure.
Now, as far as the first part of what you said, very good question. The specific analogy that you use is, would you rather have a bigger 50% of a grape or 16% of a watermelon? Right?
Yes.
I would rather have it depends on what the next meal is.
For sure.
Because if I had a truck of watermelons, I'll take 16% of that truck of watermelons.
For sure.
Over 16% of that one watermelon.
Oh, absolutely.
And if I need to eat the grape in order to get to the truck, that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. Well, I think that.
And what I'm laying this out?
Yeah,
let me tell you what I mean by that. But let me tell the people that don't know what I mean by that. The truck of watermelons is Tank. That's the truck of watermelons. If I take a little bit of money, if I'm taking a little less, if I'm only going to take $1 million, and that's going to block me from $4 million against Tank a year from now, I'm not taking it.
No, I agree with that, Fernand. But I think that's why, and like I say, I don't like throwing the duck around at fighters. I think some people can't speak eloquently about what they're trying to say, and they just throw around these titles like ducks, which is disrespectful to fighters. I think that Frank's side, and it may not be Frank, it may be the suits that's involved, are negotiating, and hopefully they're trying to look out for his best interests off the pretense that this is a very, very high-risk fight for Frank. This is a fight that could cripple his leverage, and not cripple his leverage. This is a fight. Excuse me?
I'm sorry. I missed what you're saying.
I'm saying when we're talking about a cart of watermelons versus one watermelon, I think that the suits on Frank's side, the people advising Frank, maybe this may not be in Frank's mind because he's the fighter, but the business people involved, the business people, their money invested in Frank. If I'm looking at Frank going against Shakur Steveson, I have money invested in Frank. This fight may hurt him a little bit because this may be him selling off his O. I think he fights Shakur, and if he loses, do you get a fight with Tank after that? I'm not sure. Depending on how he looks, might have to fight a few more times to build him up to this. But I think if I was very confident that he would beat Shakur, I'm definitely jumping at the bits at this fight. But I don't think that that confident he's going to win this fight. And I think if I had to make a pick, I think it would be a good fight. Frank definitely has skills. I definitely would be picking Shakur. But the same thing, if Frank fights Tank, I would be picking Tank to win it. So it's who you're going to go with. You can set up a fight down the line with Frank and Tank, where Frank makes more money. which then the people investing in Frank makes more money, or you can set up a fight with Frank and Shakur now, with Frank making less, and then it could hurt a fight with Frank versus Tank down the line. And I think just that in the back of people's mind, it it looks like everyone's making business decisions, but it looks like one side is like I said, they're negotiating on the pretense that Frank is going to lose. On the prospect that Frank probably is not going to win the fight.
Look, man, if you can make, I don't get why people would think if you are really going to risk, first of all, he's not fighting the same guy that he made $75,000 or $100,000 fighting.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not the same guy.
Yeah.
So the risk is not the same. However, if you use common sense and it's 4 times as much, and I'm guaranteed to, and I'm fighting 3 times a year, I will have made that money in a year.
For sure.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, that's also 3 camps. That's 3 sets of sparring partners you're paying for, 3 sets of housing that you're paying for doing the camp.
Okay, then I would get it in a year. Then throwing a fight. No,
I get it.
So if it's 4 times as much, I'm going to be able to get that same amount of money in 3 or 4 fights, maybe 5 fights.
No,
you're still going to get it, and you're still going to be fighting guys that you basically are favored to win.
Oh, no, absolutely.
You versus a guy that you basically lose to, right? You lose to, and then you go back to a situation that you were in before, but you have an opportunity. No, let me put it this way, man. Ain't nobody fucking going out of their way to fight David Benavidez and risk a Canelo fight. Nobody.
None. Absolutely.
Okay,
but that's where I think it gets to, because that's where we all know, and that's not what's not being said. If I'm investing in Frank, I can fight him 3 more times against guys I'm pretty sure he's going to win with, because I know I got Tank Davis on my side of the street, and I can get that Tank Davis fight down the road, as opposed to me sending him in there with Shakur for it's more money he's made, is not as much money as he could make fighting Tank Davis. It just makes more business sense to stay away from Shakur.
Man, look, man. Bob Arum will not make a fight between Shakur and Gervonta. He won't do that. So I don't understand. He will literally said, why would I make a fight between Shakur and Gervonta? If Shakur promoter will not make a fight between him and the biggest name that there is below 168 pounds, why is it unreasonable that Errol Spence Jr. will move his fighter over to fight Shakur for even less money?
No.
Shit doesn't. Just the very actions of Bob Arum with Shakur and Gervonta explain why in the world somebody like, again, the guy's actual promoter. But let me move on, bro. I'll get back with you, Christian.
Hey, for now, I got one question though. One question.
Yep.
Can it go back to purse bid now? I know that is this a situation where they still negotiating the money? If they still negotiating the money, the fight can still happen, correct?
Man,
go back to purse bid?
I have no clue. But if I'm telling you, if I'm Frank Martin, I go on to my next fight.
Got you. Yeah. All right,
and I'm in the WBC. I'm still in the WBC rankings.
Yeah.
And if I'm still in the WBC rankings, the least and Shakur becomes a champion, the least I'm going to get is a 70-30 purse split. So it doesn't even, I just lose a little bit of money. I lose a little bit of money in doing that. Because he can still become the WBC mandatory for the actual champion instead of doing it when he's number 5 at 60-40. But it just, again, all of the money is with the WBA. These guys ran out of the sanctioning body, the WBC ranked sanctioning body, when Anthony Joshua got a WBA belt. Those guys were not risking themselves for any amount of money against Deontay Wilder when you got Anthony Joshua there. And if Deontay Wilder, in order to Deontay Wilder to get Tyson Fury into the ring, he had to pay Tyson Fury all kind of money to do it. Tyson Fury had never been on a pay-per-view ever. But Deontay wanted the big pay-per-view. So Deontay Wilder had to come off 60-40 and then 50-50 and then 60-40 for Fury. because none of those other guys would fight him because they were all in line to get Deion. They were all in line in order to get Gervonta. So and I think Shakur is going to see this. If Shakur wants to fight anybody, he's going to have to pay him more than he thinks because that dude is easily as hard to beat as Gervonta is, but he's nowhere near the money. So, and people are not fighting for the pleasure of increasing the accolades of Bob Arum, Showtime, ESPN, and Shakur. They're over there to get paid. And they get paid, and their best route to superstardom is Gervonta, not Shakur. So as long as Gervonta's in the same weight division as Shakur is, Shakur and Bob Arum are going to have to come up off that dough to get them, to make it worth them, not waiting for Gervonta. Because Gervonta's not leaving the weight class. It's going to be more expensive for you to get Frank. It's going to be more expensive because you work at a bad place. You're a high risk. I'm leaving Showtime, who's been paying my bills, my regular employer, because Showtime's been the regular employer for Frank Martin his entire career. Just like Jerron Ennis said about going to BOK Prime, or Boots Ennis, Bozy Ennis said about going to BOK Prime to fight Terrence. Yeah, dude, but I got a relationship with these people. I'm not breaking my Showtime relationship for a one-off fight with you when I can stay right in the place that I work. And if I get the biggest raise, dude, it's possible for Frank Martin to run into a $5 million payday out of this $10 million payday. Because if he winds up beating everybody over there and everybody starts calling for a Frank Martin versus Tank fight, and Tank is look good with it, and they say, screw, they do 500,000 pay-per-views, Frank Martin may wind up walking out with $10 million. But is he supposed to give up his $10 million for a $1 million chance to leave his network and go over there and fuck with Shakur? No. So that's why most of these people that you hear saying this are not this, oh, he's ducking. Yeah, you can have the duck. But I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody's going to pay me $15 million not to fight you, I'm going to duck you.
For sure.
All right, bro. I'll get back.
All right, Bernard.
All right, peace. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just telling you, man, this shit is stupid. This, to me, is stupid. You're gonna tell your fighter to do that. That's why I half believe this. Shakur is over there with Shakur is in the wrong weight division to be acting like he's the boss. You are a liability right now, Shakur. A liability. You are not an asset. You are a liability. You are a slick southpaw fighter who fits the very definition of no black fighters. You don't want to pay a lot of money. You're damn near impossible to beat. And you're not even on the same network. While you got somebody else that is a much bigger draw than you, pays a lot more money for the fights. And good luck with your guilt trips. Guilt trip him. See how that works out for you. Guilt trip him. Shakur don't want to fight. I mean, Devin didn't want to fight you for the same reason. The same reason. Lomachenko don't want to fight you because he don't need you. Same reason. Isaac Cruz don't want to fight you. Why? The same reason. You're going to have to solve your problem that you got. Shakur probably wears tight ass 20 jeans. Ain't no black 135-pound stars at Top Rank. Bob going to let Shakur embarrass them. Yeah. Yeah, they can do that all. Man, let me tell you, you're not gonna shame somebody into a fight. Oh, here's the link. Here's the link. Go ahead and debate me on that. Go ahead and do it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. 25% and Shakur would have had a fight? No, he wouldn't have. No, he would not have. No, no, he would not have. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on. Steveson. All righty. Sorry about that. Anyway, but look, man, I'm gonna roll up out of here, man. We've been on it for a little while. Hey, my guy, Skyfree said they're gonna freeze Shakur out if he keeps playing around. He is frozen out, man. That's what you get when you're a top rank. You're gonna get championship shots, but for you to really bust out the top of that, it's gonna be difficult because they got a cap on top rank fighters. They've got a cap. They've got a cap on Top Rank fighters. Bob not trying to waste money on Shakur Fanan. Told y'all it's about money, making money, and if you don't get it, yeah, you guys can complain all you want. I want one more cat to hit this. Yeah, I'm gonna do just 1 second though. Yeah. But I know y'all not gonna say anything to me. King, did you listen to anything? Have you learned anything? Because this is how that's how business works. And it's not the business of boxing, it's just business. You will do the same thing if you have common sense in your own life. You're fighting for money. Thomas Hill said it for promotional and managerial points of views. Oh, I fully agree with what that. Oh, I don't know what. Okay, that's not for me. Yeah, man, dude, you got to. First of all, Arrow would be bad not to make. Arrow would be wrong to take that. You're getting more money than you've ever had before. Almost any time somebody says that it's a con job. Oh, you're going to I'll pay you more money than you've ever been paid before. Yeah, but I think it's worth this. But yeah, but it's more than you've ever gotten before. So that's what you're going to get. Nah, man, it's worth this. It's worth this. Yeah, nah, I'm just going to give you, I'm offering you way more than you've ever made. That is a cornball ass argument. Thomas Hill, what's up, man?
Oh, what's up with you, Fanan? I was just texting you right now, telling you what that was about. That was a conversation I was engaged with Scott Miller, and she was they just basically was saying how Shakur is being punished for the people that he's around, like he's around Bob Arum, and I was saying, yeah, not only just Bob Arum, but also, you know, from his manager side of the point of view, I mean, or the side of the spectrum as well too. Like, I think in order for him to start getting the fights that he wants and that he deserves, he feels he deserves, he's probably gonna have to break camp. And he's probably gonna have to move out pretty much like Floyd did, so that he can start, you know, being in the fights that he likes, he wants, and that he believes he should be in. Because it's seeming like it's an omen right now that he can't make fights. This last one, it was like we agreed to things, and then once we seen stuff, we said, nah, we don't like it. So I don't know what that was. I won't call it a duck because I don't have enough information. I just don't like the look that it made. And unfortunately, you know, the way he advertises through social media doesn't help him as well too. He does some things that a lot of people don't appreciate. So like, hopefully with Raymond Maratala, they can make that fight, because that's a really good fight. And then maybe he could fight some other fighters there before he can actually branch out to go to other sides of the park, next of the wood. So that's all I was talking about.
Okay, that's cool. Cool. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's that's the exchange that it seems that you get when you go to HBO or you go to Top Rank. They're going to get you championship fights in multiple weight classes, and you're going to fight on a regular basis. However, you're still going to be confined by the other side of that, which is that these guys have invested and made money on you. They're investing money in you. They're going to want to get money out of you on over the long haul. So they're going to make you fight a lot of fights, and getting a fight done for mega money. Especially when you get to the point where you're operating off of a budget and your money, and both guys got to get paid out of that budget, the less likely it is that you're going to be able to get big fights, because you can't afford to pay the guy the money that they think the fight's worth, because you're going to take the majority of the budget. It is what it is.
That's absolutely correct. Honestly, you've spoken to this degree many times. You have like expressed knowledge in the situation and in the negotiation of business and contracts. Then on top of that, I've heard Rachel. I don't know if she came on today, but I've heard her come on this.
Yeah.
So you know, you further get it from somebody whose expertise was that, who knows what they're talking about. Then you got somebody who's currently in the scale of doing that and talking about it. And you can see fighters before saying like, yo, this is what happens. And what you just said is the motto over there. We're going to fight the heck out of you, and we're going to place you in fights. but you're not going to get the money that you believe, and you're probably not going to fight the fights that you really want. And that's unfortunate for him right now, because he is a truly impressive talent. Hey,
Yes.
I just don't understand how people can't see the reasoning and logic in some of the stuff that you discuss on a regular basis, and then have it verified by somebody who is in, as they quote unquote call it, the industry, who has vast experience and knowledge with it currently. So I don't get it, but like,
Because they
I,
dumb. Yeah, I'll jump into you. A bunch of these dudes just dumb. They
all
dumb.
right
It's the
then, man.
dangerous combination of being dumb and wanting to be right. That's King. King is number one, uneducated, and number two, he insists on being right. If you are uneducated on a particular subject, like business in general, or business as it applies to boxing specifically, and you always want to be right, you're going to run into you're going to be running into a lot of stuff that you're not going to like. That's it. Because a lot of these dudes, especially YouTube channels, have no background in business. Not to this degree. And not to be able to understand it from the outside looking in. Because that's not what they do. They either are, and that's why I say, like, you can be a boxing historian. That doesn't mean that you are a management consultant. You know what I mean?
Man, no,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's just not what your job. You've never had that experience. So when I can't, for me, and I'm losing my voice, so I got to jump off. But
Okay.
For me, it's impossible. It's almost impossible for me to look at boxing and not look at that. Like, I see it, like that's what I see first. Like, oh, they're not going to be able to do that. Well, why not? This guy wants to fight that guy because, like, take for example, Devin Haney and Gervonta. Gervonta's fights say they make 30 million, right? And
Yeah.
then he say he's walking away with 15. And Devin is used to making 5 or 6. Devin there's not that much money to give him the money. There's just not that much, because if they fight, it's not like Top Rank is going to come in there and is going to pay him his money and not want their money back. You know, they're just going to throw in the money. So what you're going to wind up having is a fight that's difficult to make, where what you're going to get is Devin Haney on Top Rank, and he's going to be fighting a bunch of guys he can beat, because they're not going to have to pay a lot of money to get the fights. And there'll be guys that don't even have the future. They don't even have the projection that Frank has. So, like, even when you look at Frank, you have to look at not just what Frank has earned in the past. You got to look what Frank's earning potential is in the future. And that's what people are taking out of the question. His earning potential is beyond what Shakur is offering him. But if he fights Shakur and loses, he impacts his earning potential.
Jeopardizes it.
Yeah, he jeopardizes a big fight with Gervonta, which is there for him. Nobody is, like I said to Christian, there's no way that Shakur Steveson is going to jump up to 147 pounds and fight Jaron Ennis if he's offered more money than he's ever been offered to fight him. They will say no. Why? Because he's going to get his ass whooped, and his future earning potential is limited. Right? Sometimes you just got to use exaggerated examples to display the principle. Monster Inoue is not, when people say, oh, Monster Inoue and Tank, Monster Inoue is not in his next fight going to jump up and fight Shakur Steveson. It's not going to happen. Why? Because you'll be affecting his future earning potential by putting him in a fight that he most likely is going to lose. Bob Arum would not feed Frank Martin, would not give Frank Martin, right? Or would not give Keyshawn Davis to Shakur Steveson right now. He wouldn't do it.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And nobody would be asking him, and nobody would ask him to do it. You know, that's my take.
No, that's the correct take. Just like I said, and I'll let you go because I know you're losing your voice. But these people know what you're saying is true, because when they're in the comment section, they're speaking to your express knowledge in the form of business. And more importantly, in the form of legalization of business and handling the contracts and things like that. That's why it boggles my mind that you would hold blind allegiance to a fighter who do not know you. You will go over the principles you have with your own family for this person to generate or move some needle that don't even exist for you. So it's mind boggling because you say this stuff and it sounds clear and concise. And I know because you just used an example of potential earning. And I know when they have litigations about terminations, they factor that in heavily in
Yeah,
the
but
in
this
the
isn't, I'm going to be very clear. This is not legal. None of this is legal. All of this is just business. It's all business. This is all investment, return on investment, potential earnings, how your stock is going. If you invest in stock, and that's why, and you see the stock rising, as soon as that somebody offers you the first little amount of money on that stock, are you going to take it? When you're like,
no.
hold on, man, I bought this stock. I bought this. This stock is worth $1 now. I bought it at $1. I think it is now worth $10. And then somebody says, well, look, man, I'll offer you $4 for it. What do you mean? No, $4 is $4 more than you paid. Yeah, but it's worth 10. And I think next year it's going to be worth 100. I'm okay. I'm going to keep my money right here and you going about your business. Okay? That is strictly business. And this, what they are talking about, doesn't make sense. When you say something about this is 4 times more than you've ever made before, well, that just means to me that you know my worth is more than what I got paid before.
Yeah,
But
no
just
doubt.
because
No.
it's worth more than I got paid before doesn't mean that's where it's going to end up. So I'm not going to give you my value. I'm not going to give you my value until it reaches where I think it's going to go. And if I believe that it'll get to 10, but you offer me 7 right now, I may take it. Because there's a chance that it doesn't get to 10. I may take the 7. Right? I may take the 7 because I think it'll get to 10. But if you cut me 8, how confident I am? I'm real confident 5, real confident 6, real confident 7. If I'm Errol Spence, I'm confident I can get $100,000 out of Frank Martin over the next 5 months, over the next 5 fights. I'll get my money. I'm not sitting there thinking, will I ever make $1 million in my career? It's stupid.
Yeah,
All right, bro, I got to
exactly.
get back. I'll holler
All
at you
right,
later.
man. Yeah,
Peace.
definitely.
For sure. Yeah, it is, but I just want to not confuse you. That is not the law. Contracts is how you negotiate the deal and how you document the understanding and take into considerations the risks and what happens if things go wrong. That's a different conversation. This is stop being stupid type of conversation. Anyway, with that, I got to get out of here. Deuces.